Everybody's happy inside the building with the start of things tonight. No more so than the Tampa Bay Storm cheerleaders. A lot of pretty smiles in that group.
Well, I'm sure they were happy after seeing the Storm, watching them on TV out now.
Solomon along the near side, and Kevin Gaines lowered the boom, the defensive specialist of the Georgia Force. As we check out the rest of the starting defensive lineup, Jermaine Smith, former Predator. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league, joined by Adam Metz, Gillis Wilson, a very active member of that defensive line. Derek Lee, the wide receiver linebacker. Robert Thomas is the MAC linebacker. Gaines and Nate Coggins, the specialists, and Willie Gary is the two-way defensive back.
Big Jermaine Smith, he'll be there in the backfield, making the offensive coordinator change that play calling up a little bit. You got to take notice of big number 98, and calling those plays tonight, Rick, is Pat O'Hara. He's the offensive coordinator, newly named this season, but he's truly the offensive coordinator last week and this week now that Tim Markham's not around.
It's Solomon circling around in motion on a 2nd and 4, and the pass to Cliff Dell has the first down, struggles to get to midfield before he's tracked down there by Gaines. Dell with his 35th grab of the season now, exceeding his total last year with the Storm, now in his 4th season with this club. And as you can see, a high percentage of touchdown catches for Cliff.
Trying to take it to the house. He tried to take it to the house that time. Good play call against this zone defense over there. You go to different levels and you make those guys on defense choose. You get cheating back, you hit the guy up, and vice versa. Nice first down for the Tampa Bay Storm.
Solomon in yo-yo motion. Now he'll take the pass on the screen, cuts around a Lawrence Samuels block, crosses the 20-yard line of the Force, and Coggins takes him out of bounds.
Here's a look at Freddie Solomon talking to Pat O'Hara, the offensive coordinator, before the game tonight. He said the guy that's got to step up tonight is number 81, Freddie Solomon. For T.T. Tolliver, who was traded this week, he's gone up to Nashville. There's Freddie Solomon, who's had a frustrating season, especially when this team gets down in the red zone. He's had some trouble getting open. So one of the key things they wanted to do early. There's P.O., Pat O'Hara, trying to get the ball in the hands of number 81. Get him some confidence early. They're doing that.
Deep drop for Stafford in 2nd and 6, and he makes the completion for the first down and plenty more to Lawrence Samuels. He is taken down by Nate Coggins inside the Force 10-yard line. So the Storm going underneath. And on that pickup of 17 and the catch and run, they're set up with a 1st and goal.
And how about number 22? You can always count on him to have a pretty good game or a great game. He's never going to have a bad one, and getting it started early, he'll do it offensively and defensively over at that Jill linebacker spot. Lawrence Samuels is one of the most special players to ever play this game of arena football.
You look at Stafford's numbers this year, 47 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 5 have come in the last 2 games. He's looking in the end zone here and throws the ball away. He didn't have anything, and a penalty flag is down in that Storm backfield on what was a 1st and goal from the Georgia 7. Stafford mic'd up for tonight's game. We'll be checking in periodically with Shane. Bill Lamonier is the referee, and he indicates it's Ernest Certain called for the penalty.
So going the other way for Pat O'Hara and Shane Stafford, and that's this red zone getting down there near the goal line for this Tampa Bay Storm offense. They had some trouble last week against LA, and they worked on it all week long in practice, and they're looking at a team that's pretty stingy when other teams get down in the red zone. Georgia, they're ranked 1st in red zone defense, so they bend all you want, drive on down the field, but when you get in the red zone and things tighten up, so do the Georgia Force defenders.
They've allowed touchdowns in less than 60% of the opposition's possessions, as Stafford belted as he throws and overthrows Freddie Solomon in the end zone. As Marcus Keys, number 75, got the pressure on Stafford. That's something that Shane's talked about this week, as the Force really bring the pass rush, as they're looking now at 2nd down and 10 from the Force 17.
One of the names that stands out on this Georgia defense, Kevin Gaines, of course, a guy that's been around for a while. But one of the rookies covering that last play there, number 24, Nate Coggins, is a special football player, defensive specialist, a guy that these coaches for the Storm say that he could be a superstar one day. He's flying under the radar a little bit right now, but playing some strong football.
Dell is wide open. Stafford finds him at the 5. He's run out by Willie Gary inside the 5-yard line. The Storm will have a 3rd and goal now in a much more manageable situation from the Georgia 4.
Good job up front by that Tampa Storm offensive line. Here you see what's Shane Stafford seeing, waiting for Clifdale to come across the field. Needs that extra second to let him clear that linebacker box. And a good job by number 8 at going down and picking that football up off the turf. Big play.
Well, as they began this series in the red zone, they started with a holding penalty. Not a good sign here as the Storm try to shake out of their red zone doldrums from last week. Let's see what happens here in a 3rd and goal. Stafford on the move, penalty flag down, touchdown throw, and it's caught by Solomon. We'll see if the play stands. As Solomon, if the reception's a good one, scores his 11th touchdown through the air this season.
Offside, defense, number 98. Penalty's been declined. Play results, touchdown.
The Storm get on the board first for the 7th consecutive game, and they do so from well inside the red zone.
Well, how's that about getting some confidence in your number 81? Good job up front again, all the time that Stafford
65
needs.
is eligible, 65.
All the time Shane Stafford needed right there, and even with the Jermaine Smith false start or jump off.
Well, a string of 21 straight conversions on the point afters by Matt George possibly ends there. There's a penalty flag down, and the officials are discussing it. We may have a retry here. As George.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 98 on the defense. After distance or goal, repeat the try.
And George will get a second chance now. Jermaine Smith called in the offside and now roughing the kicker. And so George with Clifdale holding and Niall Wyron as the long snapper will get a chance to add that 7th point.
65 still eligible, 65.
Well, Matt George has been pretty steady for the Storm. Wow.
I think that whistle works.
It does work, and Matt George has been working for the Storm this year, Rick. 10 kickers in 2 seasons for this Tampa Bay Storm squad.
Yardage on the penalty is declined, but the penalty is accepted for a retry.
All right, they're going to spot it at the same spot, but will accept the penalty in order to get another chance. This one's good. And so the string extends to 22 in a row for Matt George. Good on the PATs. And Stafford and the Storm get things started right as far as their fans are concerned. 7-0.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT, always there.
What? That was offside! Face mask! First down! Way to go, baby! Oh. Go for 2. Blitz. Get up. Time out! Come out! Time out! He's all over him. Interference. Right in his hand! Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown! Yeah!
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over?
What?
Hey, where's your brother?
He'll be here. Can you believe the wife bought him a brand new bike?
No way.
Who is that?
I think that's our father.
Same family.
Nice bike, Henry.
Different bikes. Same insurance company.
Nice color, Henry.
Geico. One call could save you money on your motorcycle insurance, too.
Everybody's happy inside the building with the start of things tonight. No more so than the Tampa Bay Storm cheerleaders. A lot of pretty smiles in that group.
Well, I'm sure they were happy after seeing the Storm, watching them on TV out in LA last week go up 7-0. But after that, whoo, it was rough sledding there for a while. They went until the 4th quarter with that 7 points on the board, the lowest total ever through 3 quarters for the Tampa Bay Storm at LA last week. 7 points in 3 quarters in arena football.
Storm blanked on 6 consecutive drives after that initial score. Well, they're up 7-0 here with 9:46 to go in the first quarter. Force anticipating their first possession. Matt George with a kick. It is short. Troy Bergeron will take it. 4 yards deep in the end zone. Sidesteps one tackler, and he's taken down by Mike Sutton at the 4-yard line. Rod Williams down there for the stop. Rod in his 2nd appearance of the season. Matt Nagy, the quarterback, taking over in week 5 for Jim Kubiak, and the Force have not missed a beat. They've gone 4-1 since. And you look at the receivers at his disposal. Scotty Montgomery began the year as the offensive specialist, and in the opener he got hurt. Troy Bergeron came on, and they haven't looked back. Wilson Metz and Smith up front. Jermaine Smith capable of doing some damage from that tight end position. Bergeron motion. Nagy the short drop. And the pass is dropped by Troy Bergeron, who has grabbed 66 balls this season. He was double covered there as the Storm secondary led by Jonathan Ordway. We check the front line. Niall Wyron, Ernest Certain, and Kelvin Kenny. The linebackers, the MAC linebacker David White, Lawrence Samuels, the Jack linebacker Ordway, Tremaine Jones, Anthony Derricks in the secondary. Derricks certainly will see a lot more action with T.T. Tolliver shipped to Nashville earlier this week at the deadline. Circling in motion, it's Bergeron. Deep drop for Nagy, flag down, and they look for Bergeron, and he is dumped into the seats. The ball overthrown, and as he went up for it, Jonathan Ordway parked him right in the first row. 3rd down and 10, but we've got a flag to investigate.
Here's another look at the end. You didn't see the stick foot by Ordway, but you did see the speed. All Big East. Track star at Boston College and a football star was number 28. The flag came before the little extra push there by Mr. White, and it is against the Storm though.
Illegal formation. Linebacker number 34 moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, there's a lot of restrictions on those linebackers. If you're the MAC linebacker, you can't line up in the gap. There's got to be daylight there. And also, and he was guilty of it here, you cannot move forward before the snap to get a so-called running start on the pass rush. So from the 10 now, it's 2nd down and 5 as they look for big Derek Lee. And Tremaine Jones takes him out of bounds a couple of yards short of the 1st down. 3rd down coming for the Force.
Let's take a look here on this last play. What Rick and what our official, what they're talking about. There he's coming. He's creeping forward. You can't get that running start. You can come through that A gap though. The nose guard and the linebacker, the MAC linebacker, usually the bigger guy that plays fullback as well in this arena football game. He can go through that A gap, but not until the ball snapped. The other linebacker, the smaller receiver slash linebacker, he'll drop in that little box that you can see right there.
They look for Lee over the middle, and Nagy's got him, and he objects to Ordway taking him out. A 1st down for the Force at the 20-yard line. As the Force trying to get on the move here on the road. They've been comfortable on the road this season at 3-2, but more importantly, they've won 2 big divisional games on the road against New Orleans last week, Orlando the week prior.
Ooh, a little extracurricular activity there. Jonathan Ordway calling him out. But how'd you like to have a receiver if you're a quarterback like Derek Lee? 6'5", great big hands. Kind of reminds you of Aronde Gatson. Used to play for Portland. He played for the Miami Dolphins. Standing after the catch is number 8. He does a great job on defense too.
Lee did get a look at the Jets camp last summer. Bobbles this, but hangs on, and it takes 2 members of the Storm, and finally Ordway comes in. A flag thrown by the back judge, and Lee gets up fighting mad from that one. But Ordway will be penalized for the late shot there on a short gain.
Well, there were no whistles blown. The referee standing right there by the pile didn't throw a flag. Flag came from deep. These guys are hot down on the field right now. They're jawing back and forth. You think that AFL's best record Force, they want to win it?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 28, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
There's one more look at it. Big Derek Lee, those big legs. He's trying to fight out of it. Jonathan Ordway trying to turn him back the other way, but a little bit too late. So costly for the Tampa Bay Storm and that man.
Now the ball is moved all the way down to the Tampa Bay 17-yard line for a 1st and 10 for Georgia, trailing 7-0. 6:40 and counting to go in the first quarter. Assistant coach Dave Ewert, who has been a head coach in the Arena League in Florida, Texas, and St. Louis, running the controls here as they hand off to Kevin Aldridge, and he bowls his way into the end zone. A 17-yard run for Kevin Aldridge and a touchdown for the Georgia Force. Trailing now 7-6.
Wow, that's big. That can't happen. Big touchdown by Aldridge, and the Force jumping inside right there is Kevin Kinney. Lawrence Samuels got pinned.
Number 75 is eligible, 75.
Lawrence Samuels got pinned at his Jill linebacker spot, and there was nobody over there on the edge, and Kevin Aldridge all the way down. This isn't too much a running league, but you do it to keep them honest, and you do it a lot more if you're going to break out big touchdown runs like that. Georgia on the board.
Well, you get a 285-pound fullback, and he gets his shoulders turned. Good luck trying to stop him. The kick by Nelson Garner is good, and the score is tied up. 5:44 to go. Back and forth we go. The Storm and the Force, with Tampa Bay expecting the ball next.
A great matchup. Pitcher Mussina, hitter Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye, only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. To the game.
Georgia Force football Friday at 7:30, Phillips Arena. See start at $7. Get in the game.
AFL action back at the St. Pete Times Forum, where Georgia's just gone on the board to match Tampa Bay. Taking another look at this Kevin Aldridge run. Watch this corner here. Kevin Kinney's going to jump inside, and Scotty Montgomery's going to do an excellent job here coming in and sealing that corner. Aldridge makes one guy miss. That's number 3, Tremaine Jones, and it's out the gate, and 6 points for the Georgia Force.
Well, Aldridge scores his first touchdown of the season. Georgia not a big rushing team, but he came in averaging 4.6 yards per carry and only 5 carries. Robert Thomas is the other fullback, and he averages almost 3.5 yards a carry, and that's a pretty good average in this league. Anthony Derricks, a long-time star in the kick return game, back to take this one. And he's backed up at the 2. Flags are thrown. A possible block in the back by the Storm as Derricks is dropped near the 1-yard line. So we'll investigate this special teams penalty. Derricks had an evening in his rookie season in the year 2000 where he returned 4 kicks for touchdowns against San Jose while with New England.
Illegal block in the back, number 74 on the return. Half the distance to go, still first down.
Not going to make a whole lot of difference when the spot's the 1-yard line.
No. You can have half the distance on that one if you can get away with that block in the back sometimes. Anthony Derricks, he needs another big night like he had back then, Rick. Another guy that needs to step it up to the next level, pick up a little bit of the load that T.T. Tolliver leaves when he goes to Nashville.
Jermaine Smith around the horn early, and he takes down Stafford. Actually, it's Gillis Wilson, number 92, and flags go flying. Storm now have Omar Smith, who was guilty in the block in the back. He's at center, and Niall Wyron is joined by Ricky Hall up front as well.
Unabated in the quarterback, number 92. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Now the penalty gives the Storm the needed breathing room with the ball spotted at the 6. You look at the product of Southern University in Louisiana. Saw some time in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals as well as the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants.
Both Wilson and Smith, those two guys, both look good coming off the edge. They're both hungry too. Both of them jumped off sides early.
Stafford looking long. Solomon getting it over the shoulder. And is he in or not? The officials confer. Solomon waiting for the call as everybody in the building is, and I think they're going to mark him out inside the 1. What a catch by Freddie Solomon. Well covered by Nate Coggins, but he still hauled it in.
Incredible catch, incredible throw. Shane Stafford dumps this ball in there. Kevin Gaines, or Coggins rather, does an excellent job getting over there. In good position, but just laid in there. And Freddie Solomon never has to break stride, looks it in, and almost gets it into the end zone. Wow. Now these windows become a lot smaller here, not just with the short balls, but with the deep balls for these quarterbacks. That's a perfect example of how Shane Stafford has stepped up, taken his game to the next level, this in his 4th AFL season.
Pulling on the field, the runner in possession of the ball, knocked into the sideboards, half-yard line. First down, Tampa Bay.
And what a perfect throw by Stafford. It's something that we talked with Shane before the game, and he said it was one of the little things that was missing last week. Instead of getting that ball over the left shoulder, it needed to be over the right shoulder. He says it's a matter of a foot or so, but it's a big, big difference. That ball was right where it had to be. And what a start for Stafford. 7 of 8, 93 yards and a touchdown. First and goal from the 1. Omar Muhammad is the fullback. Derrick's in motion, and we get whistles and flags before the ball is snapped. And Stafford's indicating he wanted a timeout.
Well, Pat O'Hara, like we said, we got to get Freddie Solomon involved in this game early.
No foul on the play. Timeout was requested by Tampa Bay. Timeout, Tampa Bay. First team charge, timeout.
43-yard gain on the hookup from Stafford and Solomon to set up this opportunity. And as we mentioned, we talked to Shane earlier tonight about last week's situation in Los Angeles, a 59-28 loss.
We really just focused on what we didn't execute last week, and that was, I don't know, for some reason or another, we weren't as sharp, and I don't know if it was a long flight or with the other off-the-field problems or what it was, but offensively, we didn't have the same execution that we've been having. It's me, Freddie, Cliff, Law Dog, everybody out there that played, and we got down the field, we just couldn't get it in the red zone, and I think this week we definitely spent some time on that and emphasize that part of our game.
James, you talk about getting Solomon involved. Freddie with 39 grabs, as we saw early on coming into this game, missed time with an injured ankle. But, you know, here's a guy who had 198 catches, good for 60 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. He really needs to build up those numbers, and he's off to a good start tonight. First and goal, the handoff to Muhammad. A second effort doesn't get him in the end zone. Kevin Aldridge, who scored a few moments ago at the other end, is in on the tackle here.
Well, it may not be a running league, but you get down that close and you got to find a way to punch it in. 2 weeks ago, this team was the #1 pass offense in the AFL, the Tampa Bay Storm, and last in rushing. I don't care how bad you are at rushing, you got to be able to get 1 yard when it counts down there in the red zone, especially when you had the troubles that you did last week against Los Angeles.
Tight formation. They hand off to Muhammad once again, held out of the end zone, led by Scotty Montgomery, Gillis Wilson, and others, pushed back to the 7, but they will mark his forward progress. It looks like just inside the 2-yard line, third down.
Watch these big dogs up front in the white jerseys getting underneath those pads of the offensive linemen for the Tampa Bay Storm and just driving them backwards. Big Omar Muhammad, he had about 3 guys in his lap as he got the football. He's not going anywhere. Coach Dave Ewert coaching him up.
Dave normally handles the line duties for head coach Tim Markham. As we mentioned, he has experience as a head coach in this league. And they'll try to come this side. Muhammad dragged down, though, in the backfield. Good penetration by Bobby Setzer, number 93. And now it's 4th and goal. And the mark will be just about the same spot inside the 2-yard line.
Well, that's just an example of who wants it more down there on the 1. You've got 3 plays in a row. Think you can stick it in. You got guys in the white jerseys that were a little bit hungry, a little bit meaner, came firing through, and the guys in the dark blue jerseys that couldn't stick it in.
Tampa eligible, 65.
Matt George on to attempt an 18-yard field goal with Cliff Dell holding. And Georgia can't get settled on a lineup here. Ball is snapped. And the kick is good. The flags pertaining to the force not in a down line formation when the ball was snapped. If that's the case against Georgia, certainly the Storm will decline the penalty as they attempt to go in front 10-7 here with 2:18 to go in the first. Doug Plank, the head coach, out there talking to Bill Lamonier, and you see Mark Stout, who handles special teams on the Storm's staff, another former head coach in this league. A lot of experience on that Tampa Bay staff, as well as the Georgia staff. Plank
Illegal formation on the defense. Defensive player not down in the stance, heads up. That penalty's been declined. Field goal is good.
And so Dave Ewert's team moves in front, but kind of a moral victory for the Forest with an outstanding goal line stand defensively, something the Forest have been noted for this year.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight. Bon Jovi! Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it!
This June, the AFL Championship game, Arena Bowl 19, is playing Vegas. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS today.
Join us April 28th for the best fundraiser of the year.
The 15th annual
Dining Out for Life.
Restaurants will donate a percentage of the cost of your meal to the good fight against HIV and AIDS.
This year is bigger and better than ever, no matter what you want to eat or how much you want to spend.
Help us make a difference.
Thousands of men, women, and children are counting on us. And all we have to do is go out and eat. Come on, join the soul and feed your soul. Very simple. Dine out.
Fight AIDS. It's the most satisfying meal you ever eat.
Thank you.
Shane Stafford and the Storm frustrated at not being able to get the 7 points on the touchdown, but they do retake the lead with 2:18 to go in the first. Well, coming up later on tonight in the fourth quarter, we'll be naming the two-way player of the game, brought to you by the U.S. Army. Will it be Troy Bergeron, who sees time as a specialist as well as a two-way player, or a Lawrence Samuels, a Derek Lee? Take your pick. There are going to be a lot of good candidates, I'm sure, as this evening unfolds. Maybe Kevin Aldridge, who had a hand in that goal line stand, as well as his 17-yard touchdown run to get Georgia on the board. Matt George will drill it to the net. Bergeron there for. Beats 3 men. Gets outside. Troy Bergeron trying to work around Tremaine Jones. Fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Anthony Derricks at the 11-yard line. He's ruled down, but it's Storm football from the 11.
Well, from all the heat that Troy Bergeron has generated, the lightning part of the Thunder and Lightning duo, he's also had a few cold spells. And here he shows you a flash of why he's one of the best rookies ever to come through this game. And he's got that ball there in the inside arm. And charging down the field is Ricky Hall to strip it away. Excellent job by Derricks at jumping on it. huge play for the Tampa Bay Storm.
Well, Derricks has been big on special teams this year. He's returned a kick for a touchdown, recovering a fumble there with Ricky Hall's help. And what was a 45-yard kickoff return by Troy Bergeron goes by the boards as the Storm will try to cash on the game's first turnover. Stafford has Muhammad in the backfield, Solomon in motion. Dell and Ronnie Daniels, the other receivers. The pass to Solomon has a first down. Gaines takes him down at the 24-yard line. He picks up 13 yards.
Kevin Gaines playing that zone over there. They like this defense. They play a lot of zone defense because number 21 is such a good zone defender. He learned his play from the glove, Kenny McIntyre, over across I-4. Orlando Predator, one of the best ever to play on the defensive side, if not the best. Gaines is a pretty good one too. There he had a little bit too much cushion.
On the delay, it's Muhammad, and he's wrestled down by Montgomery. The ball is loose, and it is Georgia football. They'll take over at the 21 as the team exchange fumbles.
And it was Shane Stafford's arguing, but this ball pops out. Watch here. Can't see it there with his back covering the football. Georgia forced the whole bench. They know it as soon as the ball comes popping out.
Now the crowd disputes it. They felt that Muhammad was down first, but off the collision with former St. Louis Ram Willie Gary, the ball goes over. Recovered by Montgomery. The turnover situation. Force Habit from the 21. Nagy on the move, dumps it off over the middle. Luke Leverson. And a crowd of Storm players bring him down at the 15-yard line, but he picks up 14 and a first down.
So who's going to capitalize on this momentum? Tampa Bay Storm, big 43-yard gainer from Shane Stafford to Freddie Solomon. They get it down to the 1, then the big goal line stand by the Georgia force, only to have Bergeron fumble the kickoff that was about to go into the red zone of the Tampa Bay Storm. And the Storm can't do anything with it. Put it right back in the hands of Matt Nagy and the Georgia force.
Well, Nagy and his offensive coordinator, Steve Tunn, will have a little more time to talk things over as the force on offense will have it 1st and 10 from the Storm's 16-yard line as the first quarter has come to an end, and we'll return with second quarter action in just a moment. 10-7, the Storm leading the force.
Calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package, and you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
Did you hear something?
Call 911.
Frank, what is it this time? Emailing your mom? Downloading music?
Booking our vacation. Told Francine I'd do it online, but all we have is dial-up. It's so slow.
Still don't have high-speed internet at your house? Get Bell South Fast Access DSL starting at $9.95 a month for the first 3 months. It lets you connect in an instant, shop online in a flash,
911.
even use your phone at the same time. And at $9.95 a month, there's never been a better time to buy.
Officer, you don't understand. We've got dial-up.
Order online at fastaccessdsl.com and get $50 cash back.
Frank, did you book the vacation?
Oh, he's going on a vacation, all right.
Get it now for just $9.95 a month. Bell South. Listening, answering.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report, Marcus Giles unplugged. You won't want to miss it. Plus, why this could be Dale Jr.'s most important race of the year. On your Southern Sports Report after the game.
FSN South is rocking with the Atlanta Braves. Smoltzy and crew get rolling on their record 14th straight NL East title as they take on Mike Lowell and the Marlins. Braves, Marlins, Wednesday beginning at 6:30 with the Dodge Braves Report.
AFL is presented by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. By Health South, the official healthcare provider of the Arena Football League. And by Aaron's. Do the math and you'll choose Aaron's for dream products at dream prices. We're in the St. Pete Times Forum tonight, bringing you Arena Football League action on Sun Sports, FSN South, and NHD. Rick Peckham and James Bates, glad you've joined us as we're set for the second quarter of tonight's game to begin. The Storm leading 10-7. Their lead threatened, though, by the Georgia Force, who have a 1st and 10 from the Tampa Bay 16-yard line. Big Derek Lee at 6'5", 215 in motion. They look for him in the end zone. He's got it for the touchdown. You just can't get that ball away from Derek Lee, and he scores his 21st touchdown of the season. The Force move in front.
It's just not fair. Well, it's fair if you're Matt Nagy looking down the field at your big 6'5" receiver, number 8, just walling off the defender, almost like a rebounder in basketball. You see those guys in the NCAA tournament that's going on these days, going up, being strong, pulling down that basketball. It's the same thing with this guy, Derek Lee. What a special rookie season.
Nelson Garner on for the extra point. Glenn Gant out of the University of South Florida here in Tampa is on to hold. The kick is good, and Derek Lee, the Thunder part of the Thunder and Lightning team with Troy Bergeron, puts his Force in front 14-10.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Hey, did y'all know that Aaron's is having a sale? It's a dandy. They got they got a whole bunch of big screen. They got washers and dry. Hey, y'all better get down here fast.
No wonder everything's disappearing so fast. Do the math. Aaron's guarantees the lowest prices, like on this high-definition big-screen TV monitor, and you're pre-approved.
That's not all. Aaron's has furniture, like these Hey, the recliner was supposed to disappear, not me.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
Football League Fantasy Leaders brought to you by the U.S. Army. Rasheed Davis of the resurgent San Jose SaberCats on top. Marcus Nash, unstoppable in Las Vegas this year.
Well, Shane Stafford was up there knocking at the door. Number 4 for a while, but down week at L.A., 3 interceptions will knock you out of there. San Jose, look back at the beginning of the season for this Tampa Bay Storm. Defending champion San Jose squad lost by 30 to the Tampa Bay Storm, and that was without a couple big guys that you see leaving the team. So T.T. Tolliver, he's helped him, but he's also not been in all the big wins for him.
Solomon back to return the kick. Got a good block by Linares Elpage, number 9. Dragged down at the 15 by Jermaine Smith. He's everywhere defensively and on special teams for the Force. Good return and some good work on the special teams by the Storm. Coming up tomorrow on NBC Sports, we've got regional action for you as starting at noon. Philadelphia now has won a couple under James Fuller as the new head coach there, taking on Columbus. Los Angeles tied with the SaberCats for first in the Western Division. They're in Orlando to take on the 6-3 Predators. From the Storm 16, Stafford and the Storm begin anew. The pass for Samuels, wide open down the middle, and Gaines just got enough of him to drag him down at the 10-yard line. 7-yard gain for Samuels in Tampa Bay.
Well, you've got number 8 if you got a white jersey, and it's number 22 for Shane Stafford, hitting his go-to guy right down the middle of the field. And Lawrence Samuels is coming underneath, right there underneath that zone. Nice big window for Stafford to hit him, and he almost made the cut and made the touchdown there. Nice save.
Samuels recently becoming the all-time leading receiver in Storm history, passing Stevie Thomas. He's grabbed a couple tonight. Should be up around 534 for his great career. Stafford looks, he's got Dell slipping into the end zone. Touchdown. 16 yards on the connection to Cliff Dell as he scores his 17th touchdown of the season.
Everybody in this building holding their breath, not wanting him to step out there at the 1 for a second there. It looked like he went out of bounds before he hit the end zone, but in the corner,
eligible 65.
Cliff Dell staying on pace. 47% of the time he touches the ball. Scores a touchdown. He's caught it twice tonight. 1 touchdown. Good protection up front for Tampa Bay.
George with the kick, and it's Tampa Bay back in front. 2 touchdown throws for Shane Stafford tonight, 49 on the season. And early in the second quarter, the Storm regained the lead at 17-14.
Your home improvement project is not complete until the lights are on. Add more natural light with daylight from Sylvania. Bring colors to life and see the world in a new light.
You are so cute.
No, you're cuter.
See how adorable you are. Wish you were here.
Dude, she sounds hot. Get me on the horn.
Is someone there?
The television?
Honey, hang up the phone.
What was that? I can't believe you.
So, how about that game Childress had last night?
Yeah.
It's the Best Damn Heavyweight comeback on FSN. Former champ Riddick Bowe is back with a vengeance and on a quest to reclaim the heavyweight crown in a special live presentation of the Best Damn Sports Show period. Plus, Olympic gold medalist Andre Ward looks to remain undefeated on his road to the title. It's a boxing legend and a rising star, and they're only on FSN. Bowe versus Zumbrin, Thursday, live on FSN.
Shane Stafford and the Storm retake the lead. We certainly would have expected a back-and-forth battle between these teams tonight, and that's just what we got, James.
Well, it's no secret how to win these arena football games. You just stop them more than they stop you. It's 1 for you, 1 for me, but if you get the big stop and you can capitalize on it offensively, you got yourself a winning formula. You got yourself a winning rookie right there. Georgia, Troy Bergeron, last time he touched the ball, though, Ricky fumbled. He's got to hold on, use that speed.
Ball hits the crossbar, and the up back takes it. That's Kevin Gaines leaping to the 19-yard line before he is sent flying into the boards by Kelvin Kenny, who was slow to get up. Well, earlier this week at the trade deadline, the Force made a major acquisition. Doug Plank's crew acquiring Chris Jackson, a veteran presence at offensive specialist. He's as talented as anybody at that position in the league. He comes from Grand Rapids.
Nobody's been there with him the past 5+ seasons. Had outstanding numbers up there in Grand Rapids.
Yellow Burks went the other way on that deal. Jackson with some great seasons as a member of the Los Angeles Avengers. You look at his 3-year totals, 119 touchdowns. Force football from the 16. Kenny helped to the bench. And immediately they dump it out to Scotty Montgomery, the product of Duke, and he nearly fumbled at midfield but kept that ball within range. He was the starting offensive specialist to open this season for the Force. Hurt his ankle in their first game, and then Bergeron came on and posted 190 total yards and 3 touchdowns that game. And as have been in the spotlight ever since. Jonathan Ordway's been in the spotlight with 3 interceptions and 16 passes defended this year to tie for the league lead.
One of the fastest guys in this league. He's been all over the football field tonight. Kelvin Kinney, big number 1 defensive end for the Storm. He's on the bench right now. Hurt himself covering that kick.
2nd down and a yard from midfield. Nagy looks toward the end zone. Bergeron is open. He's got it for the score. And just like that, Troy Bergeron hauls in his 23rd touchdown reception of the season. And a 25-yard connection results in a forced lead of 20-17 pending the attempt on the extra point.
Well, I hope they believed you, Rick, when you told them it was a back-and-forth game coming right down to answer. Troy Bergeron, top rookie in the league right now, just adding to it the combination of fire and lightning. And here's the lightning, number 22, and over in that corner, and even the speedy Jonathan Ordway couldn't get over to him. Corner route.
Bergeron just 21 years old. He's the youngest player in the Arena Football League. And that kick by Nelson Garner is good, and the Force back to a 4-point lead with 10:14 remaining here in the first half. Troy Bergeron hauling in the score, and Georgia leading 21-17.
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
A great matchup. Pitcher, Mussina. Hitter, Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye, only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Georgia Force football Friday at 7:30, Phillips Arena. See start at $7. Get in the game.
Very quietly, Matt Nagy has put together a tremendous season, taking over in Week 5 for Jim Kubiak. And you look at his numbers tonight. Couple of throws, only missed in 1 pass. And they have not missed a beat since he took over. 4-1 with him at the controls coming into this game.
With Carolina last year, and without the talent that he had surrounding him. You surround a guy with the kind of guys that you've got down there on the floor for the Georgia Force tonight, and he can have that kind of season. And bring in a guy like Chris Jackson. That makes the quarterback even happier. Outstanding offensive line up front. Both of these offensive lines tonight have done an outstanding job of buying some time for their quarterbacks. And Nagy is a guy, even when he doesn't have all the time in the world, will buy an extra second or two.
Derrick's off the net, and he's pinned against the boards by Nate Coggins out of West Georgia at the 10-yard line. And so that is where Shane Stafford and the Storm will begin from there. Stafford played against Nagy in college, talking to him earlier this week. Stafford playing at UConn for Skip Holtz, the son of legendary coach Lew Holtz, and Nagy at the University of Delaware. Stafford trying to match Nagy here. And both these quarterbacks have been working very quickly for scores tonight, James.
Boom, boom. How about that stat?
Flags go flying here, though.
Prior to snap, ball start. 58 offense. After distance, 5 yards. Still first down.
Such a quick-paced game, and it's so much of it is back and forth, like we said. It's so fan-friendly, and there's rarely a blowout. Last week, Tampa Bay had trouble getting it down in the red zone. But a lot of times, even when a team's getting beat, they have a chance to come in and get in the game.
Bon Jovi. Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy? We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June. You're dreaming. Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now? Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it! Yes, we win!
Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas every weekend on Fox Sports Net and NBC.
Hit me.
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
We're back here at the St. B. Times Forum. Georgia leading 21-17. David White was able to trot off under his own power. And so now Omar Muhammad back in there at fullback. And the Storm backed up by the procedure penalty. 1st and 15 from their 6. Solomon in motion. Stafford has a wide open Anthony Derricks. Lowers his shoulder at midfield. He's dropped on the hit there. On the pickup of 20 yards.
Good time for Shane and Anthony Derricks, a guy who's been sick all week long. Finally coming around towards the end of the week, was okay yesterday and walked through, but missed a lot of practice early on. Sick or not, you can make that catch and turn it up for a first down.
Justin Taplin out of Arizona State makes the tackle as Solomon circles back. Ball at midfield. Fakes one way, goes the other way to Samuels. Got a little block from Mike Sutton, and the officials may object to that block. There's a flag thrown in that direction as Samuels picks up about 8 yards. Stafford is going to question the call here. But holding indicated. That was called by the umpire, Mike Delaney.
And it came from deep. Mike Sutton, such a hard job to ask those big offensive linemen to run out there in space and block the little guys, but that's just what P. O'Hara and Tampa Bay Storm coaches at number 58 doing.
58 offense, 10 yards previous spot, still first down.
That'll be 1st and 20 now from the 15-yard line of Tampa Bay.
Let's see if we can see it here. Watch number 58 coming. There he is, just trying to get a piece and slow him down. It's your job. And he wraps that arm around the jersey of Justin Taplin just enough, and flag is thrown.
Storm go to work. Rod Williams, the 7-year veteran, over the ball, joined by Sutton and Ricky Hall. They were teammates in the Indiana Firebirds last year. Flag thrown. Stafford connects with Solomon as he tried to outmaneuver members of the 4th secondary. He was brought down by Gaines at the 24-yard line on a pickup of about 9, but let's investigate the penalty, and Freddie comes up with a rug burn. And the procedure call is going to be against Georgia. They'll decline it.
Again, those restriction on those linebackers, Rick. Just let the linebackers run free, don't you think?
Well, I don't know. They're the types that you've got to keep an eye on. That's, as I've watched football and watched, for example, middle linebackers with the Florida Gators through the years.
Oh, yeah. They're the worst, huh? See if it's as we had earlier with David White, the MAC linebacker for the Storm. Got a little bit of a head start, got the speed going. before the play on the rush. And then for the Jill linebacker, the covered linebacker, you can't leave that tackle box.
Illegal formation number 93. Defensive end lined up too wide. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Still first down.
Well, it wasn't the linebackers, but that defensive end, and bringing up a...
Can't trust them either.
Right. Any guy on defense. But you know, that reason right there is why it takes a special breed to play defensive end in this arena football, because you can't line up out there in space, so you can't just be a speed guy. You got to have some speed, but you also got to have some power, because you got to be on the outside shoulder of that offensive lineman across from you. You can't line up wide and just beat him with your quickness.
Bobby set to the guilty party as Stafford looks long, and the ball falls incomplete. Anthony Derrick's number 3 walled off by the opposite number 3, Taplin, in his attempt to get to that ball.
One of the first times tonight we've seen some guys in white jerseys there in the face of Shane Stafford. It looked like somebody might have hit his arm. The ball came wobbling out. Good coverage by Taplin. He almost picked it off. So just underneath.
2nd and 15, and here we are dissing defensive players. We're kidding, of course, and for the couple of you out there who aren't familiar, James Bates was an outstanding linebacker with the national champion Florida Gators in 1996. As they find Lawrence Samuels, the Storm trying to make some headway into Georgia territory, reaching the 22-yard line on the pickup of 8.
Oh, don't try to be nice. Bates is going to get dissed, whether it's defensive players or just people, when it's these two guys.
Lawrence Samuels caught the initial touchdown throw of this ball game. The Storm trying to drive and retake the lead here on their home field, where they're 4-0 this season. The St. Pete Times Forum. Rick Peckham and James Bates with you this evening on Sun Sports, FSN South, and NHD. 3rd down and 7. And Stafford lops it over the shoulder and incomplete to Derricks, who complains about the treatment he's getting from Taplin. Flags came flying. We'll see what the laundry's all about here.
Looked like Taplin was hanging on to him a little bit.
Holding defense number 3. 10 yards, previous spot. Automatic, first down.
Well, it is on Taplin. And so the Storm drive continues with a first down.
We have a reset on the game clock to 6:39. 6:39 on the game clock.
Stafford calls out the play. As they'll have a little delay here while they set the chains. Storm trying to move back in front. Both Stafford and Nagy have thrown for 2 scores in this contest. Solomon in motion. Stafford throws, and it's dropped by Samuels on the near side. And it will be 2nd down and 10 from the 12.
Right there on his hip, Kevin Gaines. One of the best defensive backs in this league. He's been in the league for a little while, out of Louisville. 8 years. There's Coach Dave Ewart filling in for Tim Markham. And it doesn't seem quite right, does it? Nothing against Dave Ewart, but without Tim Markham down there roaming the sidelines, it doesn't seem right in this St. Pete Times Forum.
Stafford throws, connects with Solomon around the 5-yard line. He's going to be short of a first down. They need to get to the 2. But Solomon has got the Storm in the red zone once again.
Once again, Shane Stafford's got some time. The quick one there, those defensive ends. Throw those hands up. Nobody there in the face of Shane Stafford, and he can hit his streaking receivers. Freddie Solomon had a good look at him.
Nate Coggins, you mentioned, coming on board just recently, and how about this for an arena debut? He has 11 tackles against Orlando and a 2-point win in his first game. As you look at the total yard story, favoring the Storm, Stafford on the keeper, and he dives across for the touchdown. Or are they going to mark him short of the goal line? Let's see. Another confab by the officials. And he is ruled to be out of bounds short of the goal line. It looks like a 1st and goal.
Well, this is Arena Football's version of the lead sweep here. Shane Stafford just following behind that fullback.
But was the ball over the goal line when he stepped out of bounds?
see if we can see it from here. There, his foot goes out, but where was that football? Shane Stafford, they got down the frustration earlier down on this 1-yard line after the big Freddie Solomon 43-yard catch. Big goal line stand for the Georgia Force. 3 runs and 3 stuffs. Here Stafford tries to keep it himself. And a good job by the defender. I didn't catch a number, but an excellent job of getting rid of that lead blocker.
Scotty Montgomery doing an excellent job there. 1st and goal. Muhammad pulls his way to the goal line. Is he over? Yes. Omar Muhammad finds pay dirt this time, and the Storm are back in front, 23-21.
Number 65, Tampa, 65 eligible.
Well, what they couldn't get at the other end in the first quarter, here's Omar Muhammad, up a little bit tall for some guys like him, but still just enough to get it across that goal line. That's all they needed.
Georgia's kick is good. Muhammad rushes for his 4th touchdown of the season. The Storm's 9th rushing touchdown of the year. There's the scoring play the drive, almost 6 minutes of this second quarter that has 3.5 minutes remaining in it. Omar Muhammad, former defensive end at North Texas. Been around the Arena League a number of years. No question about that one. 24-21 now. The Storm move in front. The Force will try to answer, and the difference, if you measure possession for possession, is that goal line stand by the Force. That Mark Stout and the Storm had to settle for a Matt George field goal instead of getting the touchdown. Are on 4 running tries inside the 5-yard line, but Georgia was able to stop New Orleans in a battle of 6-2 teams last week, and New Orleans turned the ball over in downs pretty much to end the ball game, and that head-to-head matchup in New Orleans as we look at the National Conference standings. Force leading the South, New York leading the East. And the division winners get playoff spots and the next 2 best records. So there's quite a battle going on as far as that's concerned.
Well, this is a tough division here. The Georgia Force at the top, not only of the division, but of this league. And the Tampa Bay Storm know they've got to start rolling tonight. Last year, they were looking down the barrel of not making the playoffs for the first time in this franchise history. They won 6 of the last 8 to make the playoffs. They've got to get it started tonight if they want to make those playoffs again. They're not out of it. They've got 2 shots at the Georgia Force. Win tonight would be huge because they get Tim Markham back next week, and the Orlando Predators come to town.
Bergeron fields the kick off the net. Swings wide. Waiting for him was Mike Sutton. He drops it with a good tackle at the 7-yard line. Sutton out of LSU. He led the Firebirds in sacks last season. This June, the AFL hosts its first ever neutral site Arena Bowl in Las Vegas. For the latest on how you can be a part of this exciting championship weekend, log on to arenabowl.com for ticket and event information. Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas. Don't miss the party, Batesy.
Wow, Doug Plank and company, they may not be missing that party. Chris Jackson coming to town. They've already got a highly potent offense. Matt Nagy's doing a good job at quarterback getting it to these guys.
Well, Doug Plank's been a part of the last 3 Arena Bowls with the Arizona Rattlers as the defensive coordinator, taking over this year, head coach of the Force. And he looks on as Derek Lee accepts the pass and brings the ball out to the 17-yard line. A 9-yard pickup for Lee, Nagy, and the Force.
Steve Tunn, the offensive coordinator, coming over from Dallas. And the defensive mind, Coach Plank, coming from Arizona, but his defensive mind goes way back. We'll get into that after this play.
Hand off to Kevin Aldridge. He rumbled in for a 17-yard touchdown earlier in the game, and an extra effort brings the ball into Storm territory. As we look at Doug Plank, longtime member of the Chicago Bears, played his college ball for Woody Hayes at Ohio State.
Hayes, he liked the way that Kevin Aldridge is running tonight. And Doug Plank, this very interesting when you look at that media guide. A big part of Buddy Ryan's 46th defense, Doug Plank was, and he wore the number 46 jersey. And they named the 46 defense after that jersey number because he was such an aggressive defensive back. 8 years with the Bears he played.
Nagy looks downfield, and a great breakup is made there by Linares Elpage, who gets the benefit of a spot on the roster with a trade of T.T. Tolliver earlier this week to Nashville, and the Tulane product comes up big here.
Wow, he does an excellent job of coming out of that break and high pointing that football before it can drop down in the hands of Bergeron. Here you see him coming right in the middle of your screen. Excellent job of breaking on that football there, playing center field.
2nd and 10 from the Storm 22. You know, back to Doug Plank, one thing I can't understand about him is that he was a broadcaster for a number of years, then he decided to get a real job. Why did he want to get into coaching?
Isn't that the truth?
Nagy, plenty of time, flag down, wide open, Luke Leverson in the end zone. And it would be a touchdown of 22 yards if the play stands with 1:02 remaining in the half.
This is the Storm coming across too early. Guys getting too antsy, and this one will stand.
Offside, number 58, defense. Penalties declined. Play results, touchdown.
There's Bergeron running traffic, and everybody pulling up Lawrence Samuels.
75 is eligible. 75.
There's Samuels you see jumping on number 22, and it's Linares Elpage, the deep man, that was responsible there for Luke Leverson over in the corner. Leverson there too quick, and a nicely thrown ball by Matt Nagy. Back on top, this heavyweight bout down on the floor in the St. Pete Times Forum.
Nagy's 3rd touchdown throw of the night. Leverson on the receiving end, his 4th grab in the end zone this season, and the Force in front 28-24.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector actually signals ADT, so we can call for help. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Nagy has his team in front as he throws for his 32nd touchdown of the season. Coming up on the Aaron's halftime report, stats and highlights. Sounds of the game with Storm quarterback Shane Stafford, and a little FaceTime with the LA Avengers, who have been playing very, very well, and they'll take their 5-3 record to Orlando tomorrow afternoon on NBC Sports.
Mr. Kaleo.
That's right.
Play some good football for the Tampa Bay Storm and Tim Markham. Heading back to the Sunshine State. The jungle. He knows about the jungle.
Oh, yeah. He and Al Lucas back in the jungle. Freddie Solomon ready to accept the kick from Nelson Garner. Came over from Arizona along with Doug Plank. And he will try the onside kick. David White couldn't quite take it in. However, it's recovered by the Force at the 5-yard line by Garner. The flag's down. Bill Lamonier getting the story on the play from Bill Delaney, the umpire. Looks like he could play linebacker. He's a big dude.
They'll work this one out, but They've got it. When you talk about the back and forth action in this arena ball, it's quite a gamble, but you can get those guys up on that front line, those big dogs leaving early. Remember, they've got to play both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and then run down the field, cover kicks. Here you got everybody stayed, but nobody went after the football.
David White collided with Ernest Certain a little bit. Let's get the angle from the opposite end. White shaken up earlier in this quarter, back in action. And the ball still loose before the kicker covers it.
Well, what happens, Rick, especially here late in the half, you get guys, the big guys, they're going down on offense and defense. Hold it right here. Stop for a second. Stop. Right here. Here you see David White. He's getting ready to bail. These guys, they want to get a jump on these guys that come flying down the football field and try to get a little bit of, rest a little bit. You're on offense and defense, and you got to play the special teams. You bail out 2 steps, and that costs you because the Georgia guys come down. They're headhunting, trying to take you out and create a little lane for their other teammates to come and recover the football. Now, did it go far enough?
Prior to the ball going 10 yards, we had an illegal block against the kicking team. That foul gives the ball back to Tampa, half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down.
Boy, the onus in that onside kick situation is really on the kickers. The receiving team can do just about whatever it wants. And Doug Plank's crew guilty of the block in the back. And the Tampa Bay Storm will get the football with 57 seconds to go. We've got the 1-minute timing rules now, which means that the clock will stop at incomplete passes and plays out of bounds. Dave Ewert and the Storm get a chance to take the lead going into halftime. Keep in mind the Force will get the first possession of the second half as they kicked off to begin this ball game. So from the 5, a very critical possession for the Storm. White back in the ball game at fullback. Stafford short drop on the slant. Ronnie Daniels is grabbed by Gaines, and that was spotted by every official in the field, as well as a few thousand unofficial officials in the stands.
It's a tough one to cover. The easiest throw right there for the quarterback coming across, and Gaines right there on the hip of Ronnie Daniels comes over the top and holding on there. You see.
No foul on the pay for pass interference. The ball was tipped prior to the interference. No foul.
So that's the question answered by that replay, is that Robert Thomas, the MAC linebacker, leaped to deflect the ball, and once he touches it, there is no pass interference. His deflection came before the interference apparently occurred. Here's the update on Nagy and Stafford. Both have had very efficient nights. 2nd and goal for the 5. Stafford rolling out, gets away from Keys, flags down. The catch is made by Solomon in the end zone. Let's see if the penalties affect what would be a 5-yard connection from Stafford to Solomon and give Tampa Bay the lead once again. Bill Lamonier in the middle of another discussion.
Number 75 in the defense. Too wide in his positioning. That penalty is declined. Play results. Touchdown.
Well, the good news for Storm fans is the Storm move in front 30-28. The bad news is 49 seconds left in the half. Plenty of time for Georgia. The good news is we might have time for 2 possessions.
Number 65 eligible. 65.
Mr. Marcus Keys, the guilty party, lining up out there in space from that defensive end spot. Doesn't matter. It's points on the board and then some as Matt George puts it through.
Freddie Solomon hauls in his first score of the night. 3rd one thrown by Stafford.
There's Keys coming from the too far outside, inside, and Shane just stepping outside, buying himself a little bit of time. And Red Rock, Robert Thomas in his face. Shane does a good job of getting rid of that football, falling backwards no less, and hitting Freddie Solomon there in the back of the end zone.
Now to the Storm try an onside kick. That becomes the question going into this try.
Well, you kick it down, and I think you try to get that stop. You've got a guy in Bergeron who's a rookie who's done a good job returning the football, but still, You hit that net just right, and whether you're a rookie or a vet in this football league, you get a good kick off that iron or down there close to that iron, because these nets, they get tighter as they get down by those bars and can take some funny hops. Just hope for the best. Storm had trouble recovering the ball off the net last week at Los Angeles. They lost a few.
You see Matt Nagy in uniform. In the foreground is Jim Kubiak, who came over from Dallas as the #1 quarterback to start the year, but he injured his knee in week 5 against Austin. Nagy came off the bench to replace him and promptly completed 10 consecutive passes, threw 7 touchdowns. They won on a last-second field goal by Garner, and they've gone 4-1 since, including that victory. Matt George to kick off. Onside kick. Here it comes. Gaines dropped it. It's batted back and trying to get to it. Ladarius Elpage has it, and he'll race into the end zone. A flag is down. What a turn of events. The Force trying to help their efforts, batting the ball back to where they felt they had teammates. But Elpage spoiled that by recovering the ball and bringing it in. Now will the score stand?
And there's Kevin Gaines, the big defensive back, had his hands on it, went right through his hands before the swat. And they're walking it back down now to the spot of the swat down the football field.
I think they might be ruling this a fumble, and in the final minute of the half, only the fumbling player can advance the ball. But let's see what Bill Lamonier and his crew have cooked up here. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 16-yard line of the Storm, but looked more like a muff. I don't know if that applies under the same rules.
No foul on the play. There was no illegal bat. The ball has been recovered by the kicking team. I rule that ball is dead. First down, Tampa Bay.
So it will be no score, but it is Storm football with 41 seconds to go in the half, and the ball spotted at the 20.
Good job getting down the field. Oh, it.
Luke Leverson batted it back. Well, Lanaris Elpage seeing action in the first 4 weeks. Then on IR for 4 weeks. What a return to action. He's had a big pass break up in the end zone in that play. And on the screen, the ball is knocked incomplete. Samuels and Solomon got hung up with Kevin Gaines, who goes about 210 pounds. He's a little larger than the average DB out there, and he was able to really disrupt things. Clock stops, 39 seconds to go.
Nobody could come free there. Elpage, he saw nothing but paint. He went to the house quick. We may have had about 4 or 5 possessions at that pace.
Now at Tulane, he was the first player in NCAA history to return a fumble for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and a punt return for a touchdown. And he thought he had an onside kick return for a touchdown there. Stafford falling back, throws, and the grab is made for the score by Lanaris Elpage with a flag down. 32 seconds to go in the half. Lamonier and company have to investigate a flag once again. It would be a 30-yard score.
Contact, 21 defense, penalty decline, touchdown.
Lanaris Elpage, his 5th reception of the season in limited action, his first for a touchdown.
Watch this quarterback falling.
65 is eligible, 65.
Shane Stafford throws a ball that would have been a beautiful pass had he been standing there flat-footed and throwing it like just a quarterback playing catch with a receiver. Here he's almost on his back and lays it up there for Elpage. Just enough air under it to let his receiver run underneath it for the touchdown. Wow. You think this guy's back into his groove a little bit after the down week, the 1 week he was down last week at LA, and a beautiful catch right there in the corner. Big Jermaine Smith right in the face of Shane Stafford. Good protection up front for the most part tonight by both offensive lines, giving their quarterback some time. They're one of the best pass rushers in the league. Number 98 almost got to Shane. but not in time. Damage was done. Wow, was that pretty?
Back-to-back touchdown throws by Stafford. 5 yards to Solomon, 30 yards to Elpage. 38-28 Storm with 32 seconds still to go before halftime. We've got a long way to go here, folks. Well, the partisans here, the St. Pete Times Forum. I could feel that stomach bump. It should have been a chest bump. Turned out to be a belly bump all the way up here.
He's losing his pants. He keeps pulling his pants up. There he goes. He got him now. Oh, he's gonna knock him out. They're having a good time. These arena football fans know how to have a good time, don't they?
They sure do. And they have for many years here in Tampa at what is now Tropicana Field, the home of the Major League Baseball Tampa Bay Devil Rays, known as Thunderdome in the early days of the Storm. After the franchise moved from Pittsburgh in the early 90s to now the St. Pete Times Forum, the home of the Arena Bowl champion Storm from 2003 and the 2004 Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. That ball hit the upright, recovered by Bergeron, still looking to get out, and he's got a couple of blocks. Jonathan Ordway met him head on, and along with Lawrence Samuels, takes him out of the 6-yard line. 29 seconds to go for Bergeron and the Force.
Well, last week we've hit on it all night long, and they hit on Shane Stafford all night long. Weeks 1 through 7, 3 interceptions for this man. Last week against Los Angeles, 3 interceptions, matching his total of the first 7 games. And here's one coming off the nets. Can't get a hand on it is Anthony Derricks. Those nets are tough. Funny hops coming down, and a couple times last week out in Los Angeles, the Storm lost kickoffs because they couldn't fall on the football. Rough week, the first week in Tim Markham's suspension, and big blow to this organization. Tim Markham is this organization, Greg.
Yep, Pat O'Hara really put it best this week. He said he has such a presence on that sideline. He says the presence, you can see it in the eyes of the opposition. They're not intimidated. No one's scared of each other out there, but there is a presence that they respect of the Tampa Bay Storm when Tim Markham is on the field. Bergeron on the screen. Cuts inside. Strong run out to the 14-yard line. Is 2 yards short of a first down. The clock runs. 19 seconds to go. And Georgia still has 3 timeouts.
You know, these other teams and the officials may not feel the pressure of Tim Markham roaming that sidelines, but...
Timeout. Georgia. Georgia's first team timeout. 30-second timeout. 30 seconds.
But I'll guarantee you, a guy that did feel a little bit of that pressure as Tim Markham watched at home is Pat O'Hara, who was named, been in this league now 11 years, was named offensive coordinator at the beginning of this year. And, you know, Tim Markham's, he calls his offensive plays for the most part. Pat O'Hara has a big say in the game plan, but Timmy's out there calling the plays. And so last week, Pat O'Hara truly becomes the offensive coordinator, like across the field. Mr. Steve Tunn, he does an excellent job there calling the plays for the Georgia Force, but it was P.O.'s game, and he said he felt like he called a Tim Markham game. He felt good about everything. They ran the ball up and down the field, but they couldn't punch it in. Was really frustrated about that, and really what was his homecoming, Pat O'Hara, quarterback back in the day for the USC Trojans. Doing a good job tonight, they are.
2nd and 1. As Nagy looks for the backside receiver, the pass incomplete, intended for Luke Leverson. 9 seconds to go. Nelson Garner waiting in the wings. They may need him here, and he's a very reliable field goal kicker.
Incomplete pass.
So from just inside the 15, Matt Nagy now with a 3rd and 1 throw, but the clock is the bigger obstacle. 9 seconds to go in the half. Bergeron in motion. Sidearm throw, and it's complete to Leverson. He looks at the clock. 5 seconds to go as he steps out of bounds at midfield. And so the Force seem they're going to try to run another play here. And now they will send Nelson Garner, the product of James Madison, onto the field. He is connected in only one of his last 4 field goal opportunities, but he's pretty reliable inside the 50, 6 of 7. His longest, as you see there, a 49-yarder, and that won that game against the Austin Wranglers at the final horn. And with 5 seconds to go in this half, he'll try to get more points on the board for the Force.
How about those Austin Wranglers last night taking down the Voodoo?
Wow. Tremendous effort there by John Fitzgerald, briefly a member of the Storm. And the Wranglers, who have been on the comeback trail, they got off to a slow start. They've bounced back nicely. And that really helps to muddle the Southern Division situation with the New Orleans Voodoo losing its third game.
75, Georgia, eligible 75.
Glenn Gann, as we pointed out, from USF, he's out of Sarasota, spotting the ball at the 18-yard line. A 40-yard attempt for Garner. Plenty of leg. And the kick is good. So Nelson Garner, with the horn sounding, ending the first half, gets Georgia on the board for 3 more points. And so, after quite a tussle for 30 minutes, the Tampa Bay Storm emerge ahead, 38-31. Here's a look at the field goal, and he's able to hook it in there.
How about that, stage manager Mike Black? Thumbs up here in the booth.
That's right, the all-time leading scorer in Arena Football League history, Mike Black, working in the booth as our stage manager and spotter, Dave Ewert, is standing by downstairs. And Dave, quite a turn of events there late in the second quarter, really getting the benefit of a couple of onside kicks.
Yeah, definitely. We thought we were able to steal possession there right before the last minute. Got a great onside kick, had some guys making plays. That's what it's about.
Coach, red zone, you got the one stuff, the goal line stand down there, but then you turn it around, you had a big score there in the red zone.
Yeah, we got to definitely keep number 8 out of there. They're trying to isolate him against a little smaller DB and just throw it up like jump ball and basketball. So we need to kind of figure out what we're going to do there at the half.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Dave Ewert filling in for Tim Markham, the head coach tonight for the Tampa Bay Storm. His club in front, 38-31. Here at the St. Pete Times Forum. Stay with us. Plenty coming up on the Aaron's Halftime Report here at Sun Sports, FSN South, and in HD.
Soldiers in the Army Reserve are all around you. They take pride and honor in serving their country, knowing it doesn't mean giving up their civilian life. They further their education and gain the skills and experience that help them succeed every day. Become a soldier in the Army Reserve. It's not your everyday job.
What? That was offside. Face mask. First down. Way to go, baby. Oh. Go for 2. Blitz. Get out. Time out. Come out. Time out. He's all over him. Interference. Right in his hand. Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown! Yeah!
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over?
What?
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game.
Unbelievable!
It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
Welcome back to the St. Pete Times Forum in downtown Tampa for the Aaron's Halftime Report. We've had a wild one inside the building between the Tampa Bay Storm and the Georgia Force. The Storm overtaking Georgia for a 38-31 lead. And leading off here in the Aaron's Halftime Report, a little FaceTime with the LA Avengers.
Hi, I'm John Kaleo. I'm Brian Sump.
I'm Silas Demmer. I'm Fred Ray.
I'm Al Lucas.
I'm Greg Hopkins of the Los Angeles Avengers, and this is my FaceTime.
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 FaceTime. FaceTime.
The best nickname on our team was Billy Ray Virus when John Kaleo had a cold sore on his lower lip. My nickname used to be Fetus because I was always the young guy.
Doghead. So that's Rupert Doghead Grant because he has just like the biggest head that I've ever seen.
I wear number 3 because I couldn't get number 6 at Maryland, and that was the only number I could get.
the only jersey that was available when I first started the Arena League.
The funniest thing a fan ever said to me was, "Run, Sump, run."
Can I have your jock strap?
Lady reached out with a cocktail and said, "Hey, Kaleo, you want a drink?"
Oh, would you like a beer?
You suck. That's probably about the only thing that I've heard. If I was on American Idol.
You dropped the bomb on me, baby. We are the world. We are the children.
Rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. Ah, yeah. Girl, I know this might seem strange. Just let me know if I'm out of order. You're not even getting me to do American Idol. One of my superstitions is calling my mom right before I get dressed.
I have to wear tights under my uniform.
Growing my hair out for the entire season, as you can see.
The best movie I saw this year, the movie Saw, because dude, there was a guy on there, he just cut off his foot. Fat Howard, hey, that's a nice thing to say.
I'm married and I have 2 kids, so I really can't go out and see movies unless it's SpongeBob SquarePants. Definitely Napoleon Dynamite. I scored freaking touchdowns, freaking idiot.
Let's go! 345 horses. That's more power than Ford or Chevy. It's got great looks, and I got bonus cash.
3 words, Cummins Turbo Diesel.
Heavy-duty power with 0% financing? Done deal.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Dodge Spring Sales event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Get 0% financing, package discounts, plus March bonus cash allowance for up to $9,700 on Ram.
Yeah, I got a Hemi. And the deal, sweet.
Worms and germs can attack your computer.
Something's wrong with your computer, and you've tried everything.
Try this.
One quick click. Velos will keep your entire system virus-free, safe, and secure.
With Velos, to make it faster than the day you got it.
Visit velos.com.
And make it quick.
If you even think you're slowing down, get a free virus scan at velos.com and make it fast.
On back-to-back, all-new episodes of Beyond the Glory, the Unforgettables endured all odds to return Kentucky to prominence.
The Unforgettables are legendary.
But a shot for the ages shattered their dream. Then, in a rare interview, the Fab Five discussed the pressures that came with being bigger than the game itself.
We had paparazzi. We didn't have media.
2 all-new college basketball editions of Beyond the Glory, Sunday on FSN.
It's a new era in the AFL. The Cats are back. The Nashville Cats have returned and are once again set to run head-on into the league. The Cats versus the Rampage, Sunday at 4.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report, Marcus Giles unplugged. You won't want to miss it. Plus, why this could be Dale Jr.'s most important race of the year. On your Southern Sports Report after the game.
Welcome back to the Aaron's halftime report here in Tampa as the Storm lead the Force 38-31. We have mic'd up Shane Stafford for tonight's sounds of the game. Let's listen in to the 4th-year quarterback of the Tampa Bay Storm.
Here you go, we got him. He didn't have to go through on me like that. Hey, Umar, come here. Hey, don't worry about it. Good job, D-White. I love y'all boys, baby. Good, we go. Good job. Way to protect the ball. Here we go. Get out there on this big fella. You gotta be kidding me. The ball's across the line. Hey, those are 2 questionable calls. What did I do? Hey, the guy on the sideline says it's a good call. What did I do?
Well, listening in, Shane right in the middle of everything there. He's going to be in the middle of a football camp for kids tomorrow in conjunction with Metropolitan Ministries, which is an organization that helps out families in need. They'll have about 40 kids as part of the camp with Storm teammates, and Ryan Neese from the Bucks will be on hand as well. That's going to be a lot of fun here at the Forum tomorrow.
Oh, always fun when the Tampa Bay Storm players get out there. All these arena football teams, they get out in the communities. Fan-friendly while they're there at the games and also when they're out there helping out.
One of the big scores late in that half that helped got Tampa Bay in front. Shane found Freddie Sullivan as the Storm lead by 7.
great matchup. Pitcher, Mussina. Hitter, Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye, only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. To the game.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
Georgia Force football Friday at 7:30, Phillips Arena. See start at $7. Get in the game.
Back in the Aaron's halftime report. Tampa Bay in front by 7 points. We're just about ready for the second half to begin. We'll be back with a kick to start all the action in just a moment.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
The V-Chip and you. Parents, you decide what's right for your family. Everything from what they eat to what they play with. So isn't it important to supervise what they watch on TV? Using the TV ratings at the start of every program in conjunction with the V-Chip found in most newer sets, you can block the programs you find unsuitable for your family. And it's so easy to use. To learn more, visit this website or call the number on your screen. You can't always be there, but with the V-Chip, you are in control.
This telecast is copyrighted by the Arena Football League for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the AFL's consent is strictly prohibited.
Here at the St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa tonight, Arena Football League action coming your way on Sun Sports and FSN South and NHD. Along with James Bates, Rick Peckham. Happy you joined us tonight. I know you were entertained by that first half, a 38-31 lead for the Tampa Bay Storm. Matt George tees up the ball, and this is what all those onside kicks were all about. Batesy, as the Force will get the first possession of the second half, and it's always critical in the arena game.
Well, Matt George's leg will start this second half, but how about to end the first half? Quite a leg there by Nelson Garner, the big field goal, 40-yard kick. Smaller uprights, obviously, here in the Arena League. All the interesting twists and turns. Catching the ball at the net to go with.
Clean catch by Bergeron, and he crosses the 10 before he is taken down by Omar Muhammad and Niall Wyron. Here's a look at the stats from the first half.
Well, turnovers, one for each team, but that's good at the Tampa Bay Storm. Last week they had 5. Protecting the ball, doing a better job. Georgia just turning over the 1, and too bad as far as the penalties go, pretty even down the board.
Georgia, a lot of weeks, and for example, last week they were outgained by 90 yards by the Voodoo. However, they win on the road 43-40. They are a team that's been able to make big plays at big times all year. Outgained by a wide margin in that first half. Matt Nagy and the Force go to work to start the second. Bergeron is open, crosses midfield before Tremaine Jones, one of the leading tacklers in the AFL, brings it down in Storm territory at the 24-yard line. 14-yard gain.
And the difference between a 7-2 Georgia Force team and a 4-4 Tampa Bay Storm team, Rick, is the end of the games there when it's on the line. That last play, Georgia has stepped up and answered. Of the 4 losses, 2 of those losses, Tampa had a chance to win it on the last play. Instead lost to Philly in overtime and to New Orleans, both by 6.
Quick handoff inside for Robert Thomas. He's not done yet, and he battles for another yard or so. Thomas, of course, holds the distinction of being the blocking back for Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys when he surpassed Walter Payton's all-time rushing mark back in 2002. And here's a look at the Force's ability to pull out the tight ones.
Take a look at that margin. Wow. Close games here. Aren't many blowouts in the arena football. It's action from start to finish, and capitalizing on that fast-paced action, the Georgia Force guys.
How about sweeping New Orleans, which has a nearly identical record in the very difficult Southern Division, but they win the 2 games by a combined total of 5 points.
New Orleans had another close one against Austin last night. They lost that one.
Second and about 8 for the Force. Now in Tampa Bay territory. Derek Lee waiting along the boards. Caught up to by Samuels from behind. The ball popped free. It hits the boards. And let's see what the result of this is. Bergeron comes up with it. Either case going to be a first down, and they are going to bring it back to the spot of the fumble at the Tampa Bay 7, a 1st and goal.
There's Bergeron and Derek Lee both. The rookies doing an excellent job showing some flashes of why they're so good, but putting the ball on the turf a little bit. Derek Lee showing you how he turns on those jets after he grabs onto that football.
Bergeron in motion. Nagy drops the ball from the exchange. Picked up by Lawrence Samuels. He couldn't cover it. And Tremaine Jones falls on it at the Tampa Bay 6. Samuels tried to pick it up and go, but it got knocked out of his grasp. Jones recovers. The second turnover for Georgia in this game. Both have been fumbles.
Nagy pulls out of there before he can get the snap. Ball goes down, and Lawrence Samuels, and all that traffic, you got to just fall on that football. Guy who's made a lot of big plays in the Storm, they get lucky here because Samuels has a clean shot to just pick it up and cradle it in. Ball goes squirting around there, and an excellent job of diving in there by Tremaine Jones.
Tremaine Jones out of Angelo State led the Storm in tackles last year. Came in number 3 in the league, behind Rasheed Floyd and Kevin Gaines of the Force before tonight's game, as the play is stopped by yellow flags and whistles. Now the Storm get a stop.
Snap, ball start. 35 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
The Storm get a stop on that all-important first possession of the second half. Muhammad guilty of the penalty there. It's marked back of the 3. Pretty good numbers for both Matt Nagy and Shane Stafford.
Reflections of the seasons that these guys are having. Little hiccup against Los Angeles last week for Stafford, but other than that, he's been on fire. A lot of the credit goes to him sticking around in Tampa in the offseason and throwing. Pitching and catching with guys like Anthony Derricks.
Well, Derricks couldn't hang on. Belted by Willie Gary, who leads the Force with 6 pass breakups coming in. for tonight's game. And it will be second down now and 13 yards to go for the Storm from their 3.
Number 8, Derek Lee, a big offensive force for this Georgia Force squad, but still learning the defensive side of the ball. But when you're 6'5" at that Jill linebacker spot, you've got some learning room. You got a little bit of time, some padding to just learn that game. You got that big wingspan. You can drop right there into that box and knock the ball down.
Well, Jermaine Smith came across too soon. Flags go flying. But, hey, Thunderbug here working the Storm games.
Unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Looks like he could referee. He's got a little time on his hands with the NHL lockout to brush up on his arena rules and rough up some kids at the same time.
That's awesome. That's Tim Markham's grandson right there.
And who's stepping into the picture there?
Yeah, that's Jake Bates. Like that 44 on him, don't you, Peckham?
Yeah, I sure do. He looks like he's going to be a player.
He's got a good haircut.
From the 8-yard line, the pass to Derricks. He's overwhelmed on the hit by Gary across the 10-yard line on a second down play. And the Storm will have about 3rd down and 4 from the 12. Willie Gary, part of the St. Louis Ram teams until won a Super Bowl and lost a Super Bowl earlier here in the new millennium.
It's a big play. George needs to get a big stop here after turning that ball over down there in the red zone. Huge to stop Shane Stafford and company now.
Solomon the motion man. Press coverage from the force. And Stafford looks long, wide open. Lawrence Samuels inside the 15. Trying to outmaneuver Gaines. He's wrestled to the boards. A huge gain there down to the 10-yard line. As the Storm on 3rd and 4 come up big.
And what a big night for the big dogs up front. These guys giving their quarterback all the time he needs. And enough time to find the streaking Lawrence Samuels down on the far boards. You know, you've got somebody in your face, and it's hard to find that guy way across the field. But you've got that time like Shane did there in the window. You look, you see there's nobody right there in front. You go looking for your old faithful, number 22. Big play.
23-yard gain for the Storm. On the handoff, it's Muhammad near the goal line, and they're going to mark him down inside the 1. He went 8 yards plus on that carry, and it will be 2nd and goal.
You keep them honest. You pop it up, and then you drop one in the hands of a guy like Omar Muhammad, and this time he looks hungry going after that goal line. There we saw on the goal line stand, going in there a little bit tall 3 times, even on the touchdown run, a little bit tall going in there, but that time he had some fire in his eyes, almost got it across the goal line. Down there on the 1, same place where they had the trouble in the first quarter, where it was 3 runs and 3 stops for Georgia.
And Stafford's going to take it. He'll go to the short side of the field. And the Force say they've stopped him. The Storm can't believe it. However, it looks like the officials agree with Georgia that he is inches from the goal line. And Shane Stafford fired up about that call. 3rd and goal now.
Well, he told the official that he made 2 questionable calls there in the first half as we listened to him during the Aaron's halftime report. And here, Gillis Wilson, the defensive end number 92, does an excellent job of stretching, getting his outside shoulder free. And wow, his knee went across and looked like it was down in the paint.
Well, the one in the first half, he got the ball across. That wasn't any good. Now he gets the knee across. That apparently doesn't work either. So from about 3 inches away, Muhammad stacked up, and he is stopped by Derek Lee, Gillis Wilson, and the Georgia Force. And we've got a 4th down now and goal for the Storm. They've been down this path before.
Under those pads, the guys in the white jerseys, big Red Rock, Robert Thomas, there you saw him there, the other linebacker next to Derek Lee. Number 8 was in on the stop too. But number 44, a lot of these arena football players, it's an adjustment when you first get into the league because you got to play the other side of the ball too. Now for Robert Thomas, you mentioned earlier, he blocked for Emmitt Smith for the Cowboys, but he actually went there as a linebacker. Started as linebacker, moved across the fullback when the Moose got hurt.
That's right. And Stafford off the play fake, tosses in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Trying to lob it in the end zone for Muhammad on a 4th and goal from half-yard out. Stafford upset at the fact that he wasn't ruled to be in on an earlier call, but the ball goes over to the Georgia force. As we have another look at that play, it was tapped in the air, and Muhammad couldn't make the grab.
Hey, did y'all know that Aaron's is having a sale? It's a dandy. They got they got a whole bunch of big screen. They got washers and dry. Hey, y'all better get down here fast.
No wonder everything's disappearing so fast. Do the math. Aaron's guarantees the lowest prices, like on this high-definition big-screen TV monitor, and you're pre-approved.
That's not all. Aaron's has furniture, like these Hey, the recliner was supposed to disappear, not me.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football, powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
Oh, the AFL drama in the St. Pete Times Forum. This guy, Robert Thomas for the Georgia Force, he played linebacker in the NFL. This guy, Derek Lee, he's just learning. Look at him turn on the jets and take Shane Stafford into the boards, capping off the huge goal line stand for the Georgia Force. Still trailing by 7.
Well, they come in all shapes, sizes, and costumes here at the St. Pete Times Forum. From a half-yard out, Matt Nagy and the Force take over, and the ball dropped as it's thrown at the feet of Derek Lee after making a huge defensive play. Couldn't hang on there. So each team opens the second half with a stop. Steve Tunn, who came over from the Dallas Desperados to become the offensive coordinator with the Force, sends in the play. Less than 6 minutes to go here in this third quarter.
2 goal line stands down there, that same end zone.
One that resulted in a Tampa Bay field goal early in the ball game. This one, the Storm come up empty. Nagy in the deep drop. He's got Lee wide open backside. And it takes 2 to bring him down. Lawrence Samuels and Jonathan Ordway at the 15-yard line of the pickup of 14 and a first down for Georgia. Lee was limited to 2 catches last week. And you talk about being able to do other things. Came up with a strong game defensively and ended up scoring in special teams, returning an onside kick for a touchdown. So that's an example of how this team has gotten to 7-2. They've had guys doing a lot of different things, different heroes coming through in big ways. Lee, a guy who twice this year has had 11 reception ball games, and in one instance scored 6 touchdowns against New York. Well, the only thing good that came out of this play was a souvenir for a fan.
For a Mike Black fan.
That's
See,
right.
Number 1, we've got Mike Black, the real Mike Black, up here in the booth. About to go to Europe, work some more tennis, doing some games here for
world traveler now.
Approachment of the second neutral zone, number 34 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
David White in that A gap a little too quickly as the MAC linebacker. Mike Black, who scored nearly 1,300 points, the all-time leading scorer among kickers in AFL history. We're honored to be in his presence tonight up here in the booth. As a former Big 8 conference linebacker at Nebraska when it was the old Big 8, David White looking on and ready for the snap of the ball. That one heaved into the seats by Matt Nagy. And it will be 2nd and 5 now from the forced 21.
There was a late flag that came down, and Dave Ewart.
No foul on the play.
Okay.
We had a quarterback pump fake. That does release the linebacker. No foul on the play.
Okay, so we told you earlier about the Jill linebacker or the Jack linebacker. Whatever you want to call him, it's the linebacker, the smaller of the two that plays receiver and will drop into that little pass drop. You can't go too far. You got to stay within the tackle box. Here he is right here. It's Lawrence Samuels. The pump fake. Now he's got to stay within that box. Or it's not Lawrence Samuels, rather. That's Ronnie Daniels. And he left on the pump fake. So it was okay.
Ronnie Daniels taking over as the other Jack linebacker, with David Saunders being sent to Grand Rapids at the trade deadline earlier this week. Daniels out of Auburn. Bergeron in motion. Nagy looks toward the sidelines. He's got Derek Lee trying to pull his way across the Storm 20, and he's gang tackled there by Daniels, Tremaine Jones and company. A first down for the Georgia Force. Now well inside Storm territory.
Derek Lee's tough, isn't he? 6'5", 215 pounds. Earlier in the game, really early on, Jonathan Ordway, he came in doing the only thing you can do to chop down the big tree, and got a penalty flag thrown because he would still have those big legs churning.
Now he got a look at the Jets camp last year. Get a hold of your brother Jeremy, now on the coaching staff of the Jets, and get him in there for next season.
Yeah.
Get him out of the Southern Division. Force fans don't want to see that. Nagy fires. Lee can't get there. Flag thrown as Nagy was dumped by David White. The play incomplete. 2nd and 10 pending the outcome of the penalty.
Now miss brother Jeremy coming down to Tampa now. He used to be here with the Bucks and John Gruden. His first year coaching in the NFL, goes and wins a Super Bowl. My poor dad's been in the league now.
Defense, number 34 with an outside rush. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
David White coming too wide from that A gap. There's where the penalty flag's going. But to finish up, my dad's been in the league for 14 years. He's now defensive coordinator up there with your team, the Packers. And he hasn't sniffed the Super Bowl. So you know little brother's letting him hear it, kind of like we heard that whistle, right? Loud and proud.
Yeah, very, very similar to how we heard that whistle. Well, it's now 1st and 10 from the Storm 13-yard line following the penalty. On the outside rush, Nagy throwing, and it's intercepted by Mike Sutton. Trying to hold off Gillis Wilson. Sutton makes his way inside the force 10 and finally stopped by Derry Myrick's at the 8-yard line. Now we got Tremaine Jones and Kevin Aldridge going at it. Jones giving away about 85 pounds in that matchup. And Aldridge coming after him looking for more. We've yet to see a flag thrown from it. The first interception for either quarterback in this ball game, and it's a defensive lineman, Mike Sutton, who comes up with it. Storm football with a 7-point lead when we come back.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
Georgia Force football Friday at 7:30, Phillips Arena. See start at $7. Get in the game.
Back at the St. Pete Times Forum, 38-31 Tampa Bay, trying to go down and take away that lead of the Georgia Force and Matt Nagy, but Mike Sutton has other plans. The defensive linemen in the AFL, they can't drop down and cover, but they can stay right along that line of scrimmage, and that's just what Mike Sutton did. Picks it off and almost gets it back to the paint.
Stafford pump fake. Finds Dell. He's knocked into the boards, nearly over the boards by Luke Leverson at the 2-yard line as they start this possession from the 8. Another adventure inside the red zone for the Tampa Bay Storm.
Well, how about throwing it to Cliff Dell one more time? He's due for another touchdown. 47% of the time he touches the ball, he scores. He's had 3 catches tonight and 1 touchdown, so one more ought to do it, right?
You would think. Dell also out of USF, though not there. At the same time, Glenn Gant was there, and the short side toss to David White, going nowhere fast. Gillis Wilson led the charge, and he had plenty of help. The Force is exactly that, deep in its own territory around the goal line. This Georgia defense is something.
Oh, it is. And in this game, there are more guys defensively in the box than you can block. Another reason why it's not really a running type league. But when you've got guys getting under that offensive line's pads and pushing them back, everybody's dominating their guy that they're matched up on. It doesn't matter if your running back can beat one guy or run through one guy, because he's got about 4 guys to run through, and they all come charging, whether it's the defensive backs or those big linebackers. They're strong.
Stafford with the fade, and it's picked off in the end zone. Dropping back to make the grab was Scotty Montgomery, and the Storm are going to say he was out of the box. He's the jack linebacker. Dave Ewart on the field along with Pat O'Hara, trying to point out where he was, and the officials are talking it over. But it looks like the ball's going over to the Georgia Force on the pick by Scotty Montgomery. We'll have the result of this late in the 3rd quarter in just a moment.
A great matchup. Pitcher Mussina, hitter Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye, only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. To the game.
Bon Jovi. Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're going to be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it!
This June, the AFL Championship game, Arena Bowl 19, is playing Vegas. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS today.
Force football, and Batesy, you talk about bend but don't break. This is the ultimate example of that with a Georgia Force defense.
3 goal line stands now with that Scotty Montgomery. Huge interception.
And they look for him on the offensive side. The ball batted away as Ronnie Daniels was over there, former professional ball player in the Expos organization before beginning his college football career in Auburn.
Wow. There you go. That's another Jill linebacker making a big play. And there you see why, with the outstretched arm knocking that ball down, why a guy on the other side like Big Derek Lee at 6'5", just sitting in that little box that they can drop into. Get that big wing out there and knock it down. Even a guy like Ronnie Daniels is only 6'2". That height, so huge for the Jill linebacker.
Nagy Flushed out of the pocket, throws. It's off Lee's fingertips and out of bounds. And Nagy was belted over there as Ronnie Daniels went after him.
Good job by L. Page, staying right there with big Derek Lee.
Well, that's going to do it for the third quarter. And here's a question you think you'd never hear in the Arena Football League. Can either of these teams score? Georgia 0 for 3 on possessions in the third quarter. Tampa Bay 0 for 2 on possessions. And we'll head for the fourth quarter with our score remaining at Tampa Bay 38 and the Georgia Force 31.
Bon Jovi. Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it!
Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas every weekend on Fox Sports Net and NBC.
Hit me. Let's go!
Smooth ride.
Tons of room.
345 horses. Does it haul stuff?
And it just hauls.
V8 power, 0% financing. You gotta love those numbers.
Bonus gas.
5-star front crash test rating.
Hurry in now and join over 1 million proud new owners during the Dodge Spring Sales event to get the most award-winning lineup in our history. Get big cash allowances, package discount, plus a March bonus cash allowance for up to $6,250 on Dodge Durango SLT.
Big interior.
Big savings.
Create a whole new environment inside your car with Formula One window film. For an authorized dealer near you, call 1-800-653-1367. It's cooler than you think.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report, Marcus Giles unplugged. You won't want to miss it. Plus, why this could be Dale Jr.'s most important race of the year. On your Southern Sports Report after the game.
FSN South is rocking with the Atlanta Braves. Smoltzy and crew get rolling on their record 14th straight NL East title as they take on Mike Lowell and the Marlins. Braves, Marlins, Wednesday beginning at 6:30 with the Dodge Braves Report.
AFL is presented by Champ Sports, where you can get all your team's official Arena Football League merchandise today. Champ Sports, where sport lives. By Las Vegas, home of Arena Bowl 19, Sunday, June 12th. And by the United States Army, an army of one. Well, we start the fourth quarter here at the St. Pete Times Forum. What a defensive struggle in that third quarter. I mean, you've got to give the defense some credit. Not often done in the Arena Football League. But both teams exhibiting outstanding defense in the third. It has been a bruising battle tonight here at Tampa. Nagy to start the fourth, looking long. Bergeron's got it, over the boards he goes. And he hangs on. They rule it a catch. He went through the door and into the bench and is okay as he reaches the Storm 16.
He was on his head behind the boards when they made the call. He's still trying to fight to get it. You got it. And we got the shot. Watch him in the yo-yo motion here. A guy with this kind of speed hitting the line of scrimmage full speed. Hard to cover even when you're as fast as Ordway. And sending him into and over the boards.
First down.
A member of the Force coaching staff, I believe, was injured on that collision in the bench area. That's Doug Plank.
Doug Plank.
The head coach. He's cut in the forehead. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And he's being attended to over in that bench area. Doug Plank used to deliver hits like that in his Chicago Bear playing days. We'll return with more in just a moment.
Soldiers in the Army Reserve are all around you. They take pride and honor in serving their country, knowing it doesn't mean giving up their civilian life. They further their education and gain the skills and experience that help them succeed every day.
Become a soldier in the Army Reserve. It's not your everyday job.
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Welcome back as we have a delay with Doug Plank being attended to. He was escorted off to the Force dressing room under his own power and probably getting some stitches. Watch this.
And that's face mask.
Oh my God.
To the head there. You see him, and hopefully he's okay. But Troy Bergeron's helmet snapped back. That's the ugly thing about the whole mess here. It's good to see him walking back there. He's going to be okay. But Troy's helmet snapped back so fast. It was a hard collision.
Certainly hope Doug is okay and hopefully can continue coaching his team here tonight as Nagy throws. A wide open Derek Lee makes his 9th grab of the game, leaps over Jonathan Ordway inside the 5 before he's out of bounds. Flag down, and Nagy gets up and he's a little shaken up.
Here's the reason he was shaken up a little bit. Nagy's still holding on to that left elbow.
Well, they've marked the ball down at the Storm 3-yard line. And it will be 1st and goal. Apparently the penalty against the Storm will be declined.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 44. Half the distance to goal, tacked on. Automatic, 1st down.
Niall Wyron indicated as the penalized player. Nagy leads out the Force on a 1st and goal now from the 2. The handoff to Thomas, he fumbles. Derek's trying to get on it, and he fumbles it through the end zone. It is a touchback for the Tampa Bay Storm. And the Storm will get it at the 5-yard line. Another turnover, the 4th for the Force tonight.
Red Rock Thomas, Lawrence Samuels popping it away. Nobody wants to get in here.
Join us April 28th for the best fundraiser of the year.
The 15th annual
Dining Out for Life.
Restaurants will donate a percentage of the cost of your meal to the good fight against HIV and AIDS.
This year is bigger and better than ever, no matter what you want to eat or how much you want to spend.
Help us make a difference.
Thousands of men, women, and children are counting on us. And all we have to do is go out and eat. Come on, join the soul and feed your soul. Very simple. Dine out.
Fight AIDS. It's the most satisfying meal you ever eat.
Thank you.
It's the Best Damn Heavyweight Comeback on FSN. Former champ Riddick Bowe is back with a vengeance and on a quest to reclaim the heavyweight crown in a special live presentation of the Best Damn Sports Show period. Plus, Olympic gold medalist Andre Ward looks to remain undefeated on his road to the title. It's a boxing legend and a rising star, and they're only on FSN. Bowe versus Zumbrin, Thursday, live on FSN.
The stakes are high on the Poker Superstars 2. Now the weekly tournament heats up as the world's best players go all in. For their piece of a purse worth over $1.2 million. The game's biggest stars at one table at one time. And the only place you can see it is FSN. The Poker Superstars 2 tournament continues Sunday.
Anthony Derrickson, that attempt to recover the fumble shaken up. He goes to the Storm bench. And after the 4th turnover against the Force, who have done so well all season long in protecting the ball, the Storm get the ball at the 5-yard line. We're still looking for our first points of the second half.
Game started off a little one for you, one for me all day long, and then it was none for you, none for me for a while. Still none for you, none for me as Robert Thomas heading into the end zone. Fumbled the ball, went out of the back of the end zone. That's why Lawrence Samuels and company get it back.
Samuels' 5th grab of the night, 70th on the season, brings the ball out to the 13-yard line. 2nd down and 2 for Tampa Bay. Samuels, a guy who just seems to get better with age. Last year he had his best year at 81 grabs. The year before, with the Storm winning the Arena Bowl in 2003 at 77 catches. He's got already 70 this year, and the entire second half of the season to play. Solomon in motion. Stafford well protected, plenty of time. Solomon, though, locked up in hand-to-hand combat with Gaines, and that ball thrown into the seats, incomplete. 3rd and 2 now.
Plenty of time is right up front. Guys like Omar Smith and company. Kelvin Kinney's in there right now. Good to see him back out there after he banged up that knee earlier. Doing a great job protecting against a hard charging defensive front. These guys can bring it now over on the other side of the ball. Robert Thomas is a heck of a linebacker. He brings pressure. When you're not getting it from the linebacker spot up the middle, Jermaine Smith over on the edge. 6th in the AFL in sacks right now.
Bob Cronenberg has taken over as the defensive signal caller. He's the defensive coordinator of the Force, with Doug Plank being attended to in the dressing room as the Storm get the first down on the connection with Samuels. Cronenberg, a longtime member of the Nashville Cats. That's where this franchise was before it moved to Atlanta in 2001. 10-yard pickup for the Storm as we look at Cronenberg, the veteran lineman, and it's 1st and 10 for Tampa Bay at the 22.
So if you're used to watching these two teams, a lot of new faces on the sidelines right now. Tim Markham, he'll be back next week as his team takes on the Orlando Predators.
Stafford deep drop, yanked as he throws. He's still got Cliff Dell, who is still in bounds. He was not contacted into the boards, and so he can use the boards to brace himself, and he makes it all the way down to the 5-yard line where Nate Coggins finally stopped him, making the 6.
And when you get those guys up front giving you this protection and giving you that window to throw to, you can let guys like Cliff Dell come running across and open up and just run free like that, leading them out front, and Cliff Dell turning it up. Wow, he's been big for the Tampa Bay Storm.
5 grabs on the night, 1 touchdown. You saw he kept his feet in bounds. That was the key. If he had been knocked into the boards by the defense, he would have been down, but he stayed in bounds, got to the 6, 1st and goal. Stafford on the run, flag thrown, looks in the end zone. He's just going to throw it away, and the battle on for that souvenir.
Colts coming back against Tampa. Cliff Dell not only played at USF here in Tampa, but went to King High School here in Tampa.
And Jesuit High School.
Worked on the longest yard with Adam Sandler.
Holding, 65 offense, 10 yards, previous spot, still 1st down.
Ernest Certain called for the hold for the 2nd time tonight. They'll mark it back to the 16-yard line. 1st down and goal.
That's coming out and made the longest yard. I know you may be partial to Burt Reynolds. I know you're a big Burt Reynolds fan, but this one should be pretty good. Coming out in May.
Looking forward to it. Stafford, short drop, looks toward the end zone, and he overthrows Samuels, who was covered by Nate Coggins. And Solomon says, I think you're guilty there, partner, but let's see what the officials say. This could really bail out Tampa Bay. Cronenberg's over there, and he's not happy with the officials.
Well, ball over in that corner, and the Poco route, as they call it. Post corner, you got the choice. You play it off of that defender, and there Coggins didn't give Freddie Solomon a choice. He ran up and hit him as that ball was in the air. So they're talking it over right now, but it's so hard to cover those guys no matter where you are. If you're at the corner spot or back there playing safety, when they're in that yo motion and they hit that line of scrimmage going full speed, it's pretty tough. It's hard enough to cover a guy out in space when he's starting from the standing
start. No foul on the play. The contact is legal. No foul. Second down.
Well, now Dave Ewert's turn to be upset with the officials. He and Cronenberg working side by side on that far sideline, and he can't believe that the call was reversed. So it will be second down and goal from the 16-yard line. You see the clock running here in the fourth. Here's the penalty story. Georgia coming in second in the league in penalty yardage, despite their 7-2 record. Nearly the most penalized team in the league, but they've been on their best behavior tonight. Solomon in motion. Stafford gets away from Setzer on the rush, connects with Solomon back of the 6. And here we go again, a third down and goal from the 6.
Get down inside that red zone and you run out of space. In the big game, it's hard enough you get down in the red zone and don't have as much room to work in, and especially here in this arena game, everything is so compact. You really got to be able to hit those windows. Just drop that ball in there. Big play now.
Dell and Samuels are split out on the near side. Solomon in motion near side, and they look for Dell. Does he get into the end zone? He was taken into the boards by Gary, and the indicated touchdown. Now Cliff Dell in a delayed celebration. The officials couldn't be more hesitant on these touchdown calls tonight. Dell's second TD grab of the evening. Backed into the goal line, and yes indeed, he's in there. It's 44-31 Storm. Our first points of the second half come with 8:46 to go in the fourth quarter. And Dell stays on to hold for Matt George on the extra point try. And it's good. A 14-point spread, the largest for either team in the ball game. 45-31, the Storm leading with 8:32 to go in the ball game.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
Bon Jovi. Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy? We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June. You're dreaming. Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now? Go for it. Come on, Trey, roll it!
Yes, we win! Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas every weekend on Fox Sports Net and NBC.
Hit me.
Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango 2-8. Execute assault time now.
Following Shane Stafford's 5th touchdown throw of the night, the Storm up by 14 with oodles of time remaining, and Matt George and the Storm getting set to kick off. George, who kicked for Mark Stout, who is the Storm special teams coach with the New England Seawolves as well as the Toronto Phantoms. And it's Troy Bergeron back at the other end, awaiting this kick. Storm scoring the first points of this second half in the 6-yard pass from Stafford to Cliff Dell. And the ball hung up in the soft net. Bergeron's got it, trying to thread his way upfield, and he's taken down by Ricky Hall at the 10-yard line. Dave Ewart visited with us before the game talking about the deals that sent Tolliver and Saunders out of town and what effect they might have had on the team, if any.
I think it takes away a distraction and you move on. You know, it's kind of like I joke with the young guys and say there's a star born every day. So we just kind of focus in. We don't really look back. We're looking what's ahead of us, and that's a good Georgia team. So we got some young guys that are going to step in there, and no doubt in my mind will make plays.
Well, the guys who've come in for the traded players, Linares Elpage and Ronnie Daniels, have both played very well tonight for Tampa Bay. Nagy in the Storm trying to respond now. Elpage makes the tackle, going low on Big Derek Lee. Here are the deals made by the Storm at the trade deadline earlier this week. Saunders, former team MVP, and T.T. Tolliver, an all-arena or Ironman candidate.
And Fred Booker here, he's with the New Orleans Saints, so he's just the rights for Fred Booker.
And the rights also for LeClaire.
T.T. heading to Nashville. Travis McGriff, he just left the Orlando Predators not too long ago playing for the Cats.
Leverson is muscled there by Elpage. As Luke calls in the pass, he has scored a touchdown in this ball game, and he brings the force across midfield to the Storm 23.
Well, Matt Nagy and company, they've got to answer now. It's ticking down now, almost under 7 minutes. And you've got to punch it in. Last time down, they were close, knocking, like they had done so many times tonight on defense. Stopped the Storm. Well, they stopped themselves on offense, fumbling the ball out of the end zone.
Nagy sidearms it, and a sliding catch made by Leverson. He reaches the 19-yard line at a pickup of 4 yards. As the product of the University of Minnesota brings the force deeper into Storm territory. They'll be looking at a 2nd down and 6.
We haven't had a sack in this game tonight. Got some good rushers down there on the floor.
Both teams good protectors. The Force have only allowed 6 sacks all year. And on that last possession, boy, Shane Stafford had oodles of time on nearly every pass play. Nagy throws, it's deflected. The ball falls incomplete. Ronnie Daniels got a piece of it, the Jack linebacker.
That's the way you play it. You sit in there in that box, can't go far. You just mirror that quarterback. Watch number 21 there, middle of the screen. Watch him go up, boom, knocks it down just enough. And Bergeron was there waiting for it at the goal line. Big play by the former Auburn Tiger.
Nagy's numbers, 245 yards on the night. Nagy with time, looking down the sideline, on the fade, hauled in by Lee, but he's beyond the end line, and flags are thrown with the coverage. Tremaine Jones. This on a 3rd and 6.
Looked like Tremaine Jones was with him, but he was a little bit too much with him, I guess, bumping down there, and it's hard not to bump a big guy. 6'5", 215-pounder that can run. You got to stay with him because you know when that ball goes up, who's going up top for it. So you got to stay on him as tight as you can. Doing all he can do is Tremaine Jones, and all he can do is too much.
And as Tim Markham likes to tell his defensive backs, give him a rough ride down those boards.
2 fouls on the play, both against Tampa. Pass interference on the defense. That penalty's been declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 44. Number 44 is disqualified.
Well, that's the 2nd personal foul for roughing the passer against Niall Wyron. He has been ejected from the ball game. As we saw Nagy squatting down a few moments ago, he's still feeling the effects of that collision. Coming with 5:25 remaining here in the 4th quarter, and the Force will have the ball at the 9-yard line, 1st and goal.
Well, the frustration showing there. The actions of Niall Wyron. You rush hard all night long. Nobody can get to the guy. When you feel like you can get a piece of him, you go in there, even if it is late, and very costly for this team. And not just the yardage right here, but Niall Wyron's is a big player for the Storm.
He's a heart and soul kind of guy who has missed one game, though battling the effects of pneumonia for the last 6 weeks. And you look at that substandard performance last week against Los Angeles. He was one guy that Dave Ewert singled out this week as giving his all. And here's a guy that not feeling that well. But 2 personal fouls tonight for roughing the passer. He's sent to the dressing room. First and goal. Nagy with time finds Bergeron. He's contacted out of bounds by Tremaine Jones, and they're going to say that he's out of bounds with perhaps stepping on the sideline when he caught the ball.
Incomplete. Receiver into the boards. Incomplete. Second down.
Nice burst there by the defensive back Tremaine Jones, coming out of his break, making sure he was pushed into those boards. Let's see if we can see him there deep. Number 5 coming out of that break. There's his foot on the line. Good call.
Yeah, his first contact was out of bounds. Nagy looks that way again, and the ball is batted down. 3rd and goal from the 9 coming up. Mike Sutton is having a big night at passes defense tonight. He's got an interception.
Isn't it fun to watch those big guys pull that ball down and run with it?
You got to know he's having fun doing it. One of a number of players coming to the Storm from the now defunct Indiana Firebirds this season. And the crowd getting loud on a 3rd and goal from the 9. Lee the motion man. They lob it for Lee. One-handed attempt at the grab, over the boards he goes, and it's ruled incomplete. He and Elpage both went over the boards. And it's 4th and goal from the 9.
Well, they're saying he bobbled. This is about as close as he can get. Look at Derek Lee. He pulls it in knowing that he's going to go slamming into the boards, if not over him as he does. Wow, and holds on to the football. Elpage goes with him. Look at that. Wow. Huh? Is this a fun game? We've seen it all tonight.
His first contact was with the sideboards. The sideboards in the end zone are out of bounds. 4th down and goal from the 9. And Nagy looking in the back of the end zone. Deflected off the net and incomplete by Jonathan Ordway on the pass intended for Derek Lee. And the ball goes over to the Tampa Bay Storm with 3 minutes even to go in the 4th quarter. And the Storm owning a 14-point lead. What a defensive struggle we've seen here tonight, and it's the Storm's turn to come up big this time.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
Georgia Force football Friday at 7:30, Phillips Arena. See start at $7. Get in the game.
The Storm maintain a 14-point cushion on a defensive stand. That was outstanding. Jonathan Ordway with a tremendous play in the end zone against the seemingly undefensible Derek Lee.
Well, undefensible, especially when he's 6'5", and the defender, Jonathan Ordway, is only 5'11". You talk about having to get up there and go get it, and that's exactly what Jonathan Ordway did. He out-jumped the taller and stronger Derek Lee in a huge, huge stop. The Force could have pulled to within 7 there, and now they're down 14, and it was 4th down, a big goal line stand, and Shane Stafford and the Storm have the ball back.
Ordway, a track star at Boston College, but he was a sprinter, not a high jumper. Daniels in motion. Stafford looks for him as Gaines closed quickly to make sure that pass was not completed at 2nd and 10. Here's our ADT defensive play of the game.
See him go up for that? And Rick, just as it was on the run, who wants it more through the air? Who wants it more? And Jonathan Ordway wanted that one more. You got to go up, and coaches, they preach every single practice. High point that football. Go up and get it at its highest point. And that's what Jonathan Ordway did. Derek Lee, not quite as high on his leap and paying for it.
Clock running inside 2 minutes. The pass and the crossing pattern complete to Solomon. He's got it out to the 24-yard line. He's marked down there as Nate Coggins made contact, but they pick up 15 yards and the Storm get a first down. The clock will stop when we reach 1 minute. Freddie Solomon coming into this fourth quarter, 7 grabs, 2 touchdowns, 84 yards, and there's the update in his numbers. Those are more like Freddie Solomon type numbers.
A little bit of frustration on this season. Not much there for number 81 tonight. He's been big.
Handoff to David White. And he is taken down in forced territory at the 23. Gillis Wilson, number 92, on the tackle. Georgia using one of its 3 timeouts here with 1:14 remaining. Pat O'Hara and Shane Stafford look at the play chart to decide what's up next here on a 2nd and 8.
I think Tim Markham's sitting somewhere here in this Tampa area watching this game. He's pretty proud of his offensive coordinator, Pat O'Hara. He's done an outstanding job, and Shane Stafford has done a good job of taking you down onto the football field. Here's a look at Big Shane, his 4th year in the AFL, and his best year by far. Stayed in town the offseason and threw it around with his receivers every single day. Went and got him out of bed in the morning. Guys like Freddie Solomon, who he's hitting, Cliff Dell, who knows this Tampa area well, and Freddie Solomon has been big. Somebody has had to step up tonight. P.O. told us at the beginning of the night to fill in for guys like T.T. Tolliver on his way to Nashville, and they've done it, and their quarterback has gotten it to him. Especially after what he went through last week out in Los Angeles. Ugly game out there. Some guys showed up, some didn't.
Well, Stafford, 5 touchdowns, 2 to Dell, 2 to Solomon, 1 to L. Page. And Stafford on the deep drop. Flags all over the place. Now he's pursued by Montgomery as he left the box and was left with the option of heaving it into the seats. And that's the good play. Now 3rd down and 7.
You know, 2 plays before, you saw David White gain a couple yards, forcing Georgia to call the timeout.
Defense, number 24, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic, first down.
Well, that is a big penalty there against Nate Coggins. And the force, as the ball will be marked down to the right around the 13, I believe.
Very big penalty. But back to the run. One of the best rules about this Arena Football League that's different from the outside game is you can't take a knee. You've got to gain positive yardage for that clock to continue to run.
1-minute timing rules in effect the remainder of the 4th quarter.
And that is part of the 1-minute timing rules. And we will return with the Storm up 14 right after this.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector actually signals ADT, so we can call for help. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services, so we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Join us April 28th for the best fundraiser of the year.
The 15th annual
Dining Out for Life.
Restaurants will donate a percentage of their cost of your meal to the good fight against HIV and AIDS.
This year is bigger and better than ever, no matter what you want to eat or how much you want to spend.
Help us make a difference.
Thousands of men, women, and children are counting on us. And all we have to do is go out and eat. Come on, join the soul and feed your soul.
AIDS. It's the most satisfying meal you ever eat.
Thank you.
Storm leading by 14, a minute to go. Derek Lee has had an impact and then some in this ball game as the U.S. Army Iron Man of the game.
Well, a guy they say is coming around as a defender. Just ask Shane Stafford. He came around at times tonight. Deciding he wants to pull the trigger, and he does, and he's pulled the trigger many times. For Matt Nagy on offense, big, strong guy, excellent guy for a quarterback to throw to down there in the red zone, the big body. Not very happy right now, but a good effort for one of this sport's rising stars, just a rookie.
Storm 3 timeouts, Georgia 2 timeouts remaining as we go inside a minute to go and a 1st and 10 from the 13. David White on the carry, and the clock stops on the out-of-bounds play with 56 seconds to go.
Not much room to run indoors here. Got to try to find a way to get it down, make them use one of those timeouts, but it's kind of hard when you got that big body moving full speed ahead.
White on the injured list early in the season, but he's been making up for lost time since. Pretty good night on the ground tonight. As we mentioned, he has led the Storm in rushing the last 2 seasons.
270 pounds.
Gets the ball once again, makes positive yardage to the 6, keeps going, and now Bob Cronenberg indicates a timeout for the Force. Their second of 3 timeouts. And
timeout, Georgia. Georgia's second team timeout. 30-second timeout.
30-second timeouts in the 1-minute timing period. But mentioning Cronenberg, and we reiterate our concern for Doug Plank, the head coach of the Georgia Force, who was belted on a sideline play involving his player Troy Bergeron on a catch, and went off under his own power, though bleeding in the forehead, to the dressing room, but has not been able to return. And see the impact there. Doug Plank, one tough dude in his playing days with the Chicago Bears, no question about that, and at Ohio State University, but we're concerned that he was not able to come back for the finish of this game.
Thoughts with Coach Plank right now? That's tough. It's so much fun to sit there and watch everybody on top of the action, but it's also kind of scary at times over there on the court.
3rd and less than 3. Omar Muhammad is overcome there by Jermaine Smith and company, losing yardage. And the clock stops at 45 seconds. Make sure you tune into NBC Sports tomorrow afternoon. Coverage starting at noon. The Arena Football League coming your way. Regional coverage involving the Philadelphia Soul. They've won their last 2 under new coach James Fuller, taking on Columbus. And Los Angeles in Orlando as the Avengers playing well, tied for 1st in the West, taking on the Predators, who are always there. They're at 6-3 and playing extremely well for Jay Gruden. And of course, they'll be in Tampa next week. We'll have the game on Sun Sports. Field goal attempt for Matt George, a 22-yarder, and it's good. He's 2 of 2 in the night. And the Storm get points out of it with 41 seconds to go in the game. The Storm leading now 48-31. Matt George had been one of his last 7, but he's connected twice tonight, so he's back on the beam. Let's take a look ahead for both these franchises. The Georgia Force have some formidable opponents on their schedule. See the Storm coming to Atlanta on May the 8th, but they do have 4 of their last 6 and the bye week coming up at home.
Got to finish it up going out to San Jose.
The Storm, on the other hand, for their last 6 on the road. And you look at who they play next week. The Warren I-4, Orlando coming in with home dates against a very talented New Orleans team that edged the Storm in overtime earlier this season up in New Orleans. And the New York Dragons, also very solid at 6-2 right now, coming in on the home turf.
And with 4 of the 6 on the road, with Tim Markham back over on the sidelines, he's going to have to find a way to get his guys a win on the road. They got to win a few of these on the road now as they sit at 4-4. About to turn it over to 5-0 at home. And 0-4 on the road with the big loss last week at LA.
Bergeron with room to bring it out. And he is grabbed by Tremaine Jones at the 17-yard line. And we've got an injured Kevin Gaines who is in pain, rolling on the turf. He was clutching his left leg. And hopefully the Force don't lose him, because he's a second-team All-Arena performer last year. Tied for the lead in interceptions coming in to this game with Corey Johnson of the New York Dragons. And speaking of New York, an update on the only other game in the Arena Football League tonight. New York lost in its game against the Chicago Rush, and as a result, they're at 6-3, along with Dallas, along with Orlando.
So we're Jesse Palmer, former Florida Gator, the Bachelor, was up there doing the call for that game for Arena Football. New York Dragons, New York Giant, former Giant. And Kevin Gaines now down on the floor, Rick. That's a guy that you can't afford to lose if you're a Georgia Force fan.
He's a real stopper, but he is in a lot of pain right now with that left leg. And he will be helped off. The Louisville product won an Arena Bowl championship in 1998. Batesy alluding to it earlier, but Kenny McIntyre in that secondary, and Pat O'Hara was the quarterback on that squad.
And to make matters worse, his Cardinals lost to the Illini tonight. Final Four action.
Matt Nagy and the Force with 35 seconds to go, trailing by 17 points. Bergeron in motion, Robert Thomas in the backfield. And the receivers are Lee, as well as Scotty Montgomery. And Lee on the reception bowls his way to the 15-yard line and takes a slap at Linares Elpage as well. But it's a first down on the pickup of 13 for Georgia. And the clock stopping at 30 seconds. Now they're going to mark it at the 14. Force coming in here having won 2 straight. The Storm coming in having lost 2 straight. The Storm have developed an interesting habit in recent years of, as Nagy throws and connects with Lee, looking to get into the end zone, taken down close to another first down at the 4-yard line. The Storm have been hovering around 500 or getting off the losing starts, and then they're able to reel off a number of wins, last year winning their last 6 in the regular season. As Nagy quickly now will spike the ball with 20 seconds to go and 19 seconds left on the clock on a 1st and goal for the Force.
Talking about the Storm having trouble on the road, it's pretty much the same story like you said last year, and it wasn't until week 8 that they got their first road win against this same squad right here, the Georgia Force.
And last year overall they started 3-7, won their last 6. 2003 started 1-2, won 8 straight, then went on to win the Arena Bowl. 2002 started 1-4 and went 6-3 to get into the playoffs. 2nd and goal, to pass to Bergeron, deflected away and incomplete with 16 seconds remaining.
You
Ronnie
see
Daniels
Coach
having quite a night.
He's pointing out Ronnie Daniels, he is having a good night. Here he is right here playing that Jill linebacker. Just watching that quarterback's eyes, staying in that box and just going up for it, knocking it down. Bergeron was streaking right there through the end zone too. Would have been a touchdown. He's been big.
He's gotten a piece of 3 passes that I can think of. With the long arms, the Auburn product, former freshman of the year in the SEC at Auburn. Here's the pass to Lee, and he cannot hang on. He had outfoxed Jones to get a look at the pass and then dropped it with 13 seconds to go.
Quick hitter over there in the corner. And he just, the usually sure-handed Derek Lee. He's got those big, strong hands, pulls it down. This time, right into the hands. Can't hang on to it.
He had Jones looking away from the pass, and then as Tremaine turned, the pass arrived. Lee couldn't hang on. Nagy rolling out, looking for Bergeron. He's got it. Touchdown. Troy Bergeron was in the end zone before he was knocked out of bounds by Tremaine Jones out of the end zone, and with 8 seconds to go, the Force closed to 48-37 with the extra point or conversion attempt coming up.
Good job going back behind his body, Bergeron, and pulling that ball in. There have been a lot of close calls on that goal line. Just about every touchdown scored tonight is iffy.
Glenn Gant on to hold for Nelson Garner as they will go for the conventional point after kick. Ball snapped by Derry Myrick, and the kick is good. So 48-38 with 8 seconds to go. He has got his 7 teammates aligned, as you see, on the other side of the end zone. And the Storm with 4 players waiting across the 10-yard line, waiting, and that ball deflects. Daniels trying to grab it. No, it was caught by a fan in the first row. And so it ends up out of bounds, and we've got another injured player from the Force, and it's Derek Lee, who is down inside the 5-yard line. So it's Storm football outside the 10, but the Force have more injury concerns here. Performers on the field and one off, with Doug Plank being injured in this second half.
Rick, if a guy like Derek Lee is to miss any time, you've got Chris Jackson, remember, in that big trade this week, coming down from the Grand Rapids Rampage to help fill in.
Yeah, you thought at first with Jackson coming on board, it's an embarrassment of riches as far as offensive weapons for this franchise. But here's a look at the play involving Lee once again. Muhammad contacting that left leg as the Storm had the ball at the 11-yard line, 8 seconds to go. They need to make positive yardage to keep the clock moving. Stafford is going to step way back and lob that ball for Daniels, and well out of play. A fan went down, falling out of the stands as time appears to have expired in this ball game. The game ends with a thud as a fan unable to come up with a grab, but James Stafford, Pat O'Hara, and Stafford and Nagy, who have met before in the college gridiron, embrace as the Storm end their two-game losing streak with a victory 48-38 tonight on their home field over the Georgia Force, as the Force came in with the best record in the league. At Batesy, they go home 7-3. The Storm back over 500 at 5-4.
And they scrapped their way back out of that hole last week. They're coming off of the Los Angeles, the first week in Tim Markham's suspension. Here in the second and final week, they get the big win with Orlando coming to town next week. Great job play calling by Pat O'Hara. He'll have his mentor, Timmy Markham, back on the sidelines next week for another big division game against the Preds. But a huge win for the Tampa Bay Storm. And thoughts and prayers with a couple of those players there late. You saw Derek Lee for Georgia, and of Coach Plank.
Now the Storm victorious. Plenty of defense in the second half. We had no points in the third quarter. Didn't have points in the fourth until about 8.5 minutes to go. But the Storm pull away 48-38 over the Georgia Force tonight in our Arena Football League coverage. Plenty of hard hitting going on this evening. Our thanks to our crew here, and for James Bates, Rick Peckham saying so long from the St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa.
This has been a presentation of the Arena Football League.
I'm tired of eating all this junk at night.
Over here.